Part 205. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei-Shi Niang. Chapter 2042. Wu Huan walked into Zhang Xiangbei's office and said to Zhang Xiangbei, "Mr. Zhang, I have an email to send you, please read it." Zhang Xiangbei opened the email and saw that it was a letter for help. The letter was written by a girl named Zhou Yan. The letter said that her father died suddenly last year, her mother was bedridden, and there were 2 children at home. With her younger siblings in junior high school and primary school, she had no choice but to drop out of college and go back to take care of the family. Now, she is the only labor force in the family, relying on her to make money to support the family, and at the same time, she has to take care of her mother who is ill in bed. But their place is very poor. Not to mention the villages and towns, there are no jobs even in the county. Apart from washing dishes and vegetables in small restaurants, there is no other work. Even washing dishes and vegetables, the wages are very low. Said, and were often in arrears. She once worked as a waiter in a small restaurant, and she agreed with the boss that she would pay 500 yuan a month and have room and board in the shop. But that night, the boss tried to rape her. She tried her best to resist, but he didn't succeed. She is now at home, and she really wants to rely on her own efforts to change the fate of the whole family by raising sheep and growing vegetables, but she has no capital, and she doesn't know who to sell the sheep and vegetables she has raised. There is a sheep market more than 70 miles away from their home, but there are sheep traders there, all. There are few girls like her who can drive dozens of miles from home to sell sheep there, but she is not afraid, she will do it, but now I heard that the prices there are not high either. Well, there are many people selling sheep and few people buying sheep. It is difficult to sell sheep now. She said that she really wanted to change the fate of herself and her family through her own efforts, but in that remote country, she really couldn't think of anything else she could do besides raising sheep and growing vegetables. Raising sheep and growing vegetables, it didn't seem like a good way out, but she really didn't know if she had any other way out besides this. She couldn't sleep every night. Looking at her 2 younger brothers and sisters with sallow faces and thin muscles, and listening to her mother's moans coming from the room, she really thought about death many times, but she also thought that after she died, she was indeed relieved, but her mother, what to do with my younger siblings? Do you want them to die with her? The world is big, but there is no room for me. The world is big, but there is no way for me to walk. I really don't know what I should do. She said that when she felt extremely desperate, fortunately, a former classmate told her that their Zaixian Shisuishangbang activity could help needy rural families like hers. After hearing the news, she felt that her life seemed to have rekindled hope, so she applied on their Zaixian delivery website, hoping to become a recipient of their Suisubian assistance, but her application failed several times. Past, she had no choice but to write this email, hoping that the top management of Zaixian Shui could see it and get their help. Zhang Xiangbei was very sad after reading this email. He knew that there were many hardships in this world, and he also knew that in this society, there were many people in difficulty who needed help from others. If he didn't know, he wouldn't have thought about it. Become a successful helper. But that knowledge is a bit conceptual and still a bit far away. Just like thinking about children in Africa, they all know that the environment they live in is very difficult, but they just know it. After all, you can't see it with your eyes and hear it with your ears. You may feel uncomfortable for a moment, but as soon as you turn around and find yourself in the midst of your own colorful life, you will quickly forget this discomfort. And when such real individuals are vividly displayed in front of you, with names, surnames, geographical locations, and even Zhang Xiangbei has some understanding of the place, the distance is no longer far away and becomes close to you. While reading the letter, he seemed to be able to see her sobbing as she wrote, every word soaked with tears. This feeling was still different. Zhang Xiangbei sighed, and Wu Huan also sighed. Wu Huan and Zhang Xiangbei said that the email was forwarded to me by the customer service center. She sent us a lot of emails. As long as it was our company's email address, she almost sent it, even to the technical center. It seemed that she really had no other choice but to use the stupidest method. Her conditions fully meet our requirements. Zhang Xiangbei asked, why has she applied several times but failed? It is not within our scope. That place is at the junction of Gansu and Qinghai. The closest acquisition points to us are Xiang Evian's Gaiwan and Zhongwei branches, which are more than 500 kilometers away, Wu Huan said. Zhang Xiangbei nodded and understood that this was indeed beyond their scope. It was impossible for them to go 500 kilometers away from their purchasing point to help her. Moreover, as far as the transportation in the Northwest was concerned, it was not as good as what she was talking about. For the county where we are located, and it is a national-level poverty-stricken county, the transportation will definitely be very convenient. It is said to be more than 500 kilometers, and it may not be possible to drive a car in a day. Zhang Xiangbei thought for a while and said to Wu Huan, didn't she say that she couldn't find a job locally? You can ask her if she is willing to work in our Zaixian Shui. If she is willing, you can ask Xiang Yun make arrangements. Going to work more than 500 kilometers away? How can she take care of her family? Wu Huan said, with the transportation in that place, if she goes to work more than 500 kilometers away, maybe it is better to come to Hangzhou, and then go from Hangzhou to Lanzhou, and then it might be more convenient to go to her home. Zhang Xiangbei nodded and felt that what Wu Huan said made sense. Wu Huan said, but I'd better contact her and see what she has to say. If she wants to come to Hangzhou to work, I can also arrange it. If she works here, sending money home every month is also a way. Zhang Xiangbei said yes. After Wu Huan left, Zhang Xiangbei opened the map and found the county where the girl was located. He saw that from the map, the road from their home to Lanzhou and Xining was about the same distance, but many times, the distance on the map was different from the actual distance. The distance is two different things. Zhang Xiangbei looked carefully and saw that she was not far from Linxia, and Zhang Xiangbei felt moved. On their Zaixian delivery website, mutton from the Northwest is now very popular, especially the semi-finished hand-caught mutton. Live sheep are slaughtered locally, cooked immediately after cleaning, locked in freshness, vacuum packed into bags per kilogram, and then transported by cold chain truck. The mutton is very fresh, almost the same as what is eaten locally. Although Xiang Evian and the others continue to expand their mutton purchases, they still cannot keep up with their demand. You must know that every time they develop a city, they add hundreds of thousands of customers. In their community discussion of home fresh delivery, hand-caught lamb has always been a hot topic. Many people place an order while visiting the community. After placing the order, they become lovers of hand-caught mutton. This kind of semi-finished hand-caught mutton not only allows you to enjoy the original flavor of the Northwest, but the most important thing is that it is convenient. When you buy it, you can directly use it in the microwave or use the rice cooker to cook rice, then steam it for a while and then eat it. It is better than buying. It's a lot easier to cook fresh lamb yourself. Ningxia's hand-caught mutton is delicious, and Gansu's hand-caught mutton is also delicious. The most famous hand-caught mutton in Gansu is Linxia's mutton. Zhang Xiangbei and Xiang Yun discussed whether they could build a breeding farm there, or cooperate with local villages to set up a farm and build their own hand-caught mutton supply base there. If their supply base is established in Linxia, which is only 70 to 80 kilometers away from this girl's home, and their family is included in the Suishivang plan, there will be no problem. Zhang Xiangbei sighed, and he also thought about it. That would be a bit far away. When their production base is established, how long will it take? Going to Gansu to establish a hand-caught mutton supply base is just an idea of theirs. Everything has to wait for Xiang Evian to implement it. Xiang Evian is too busy in Ningxia right now, and he can't take care of Linxia for the time being. Zhou Ruyi knocked twice on the door of Zhang Xiangbei's office and walked in. Zhang Xiangbei looked up at her. Zhou Ruyi walked to sit across from Zhang Xiangbei's desk and shouted. Quickly, hurry up and pour the water to reward your general who has returned victoriously. Zhang Xiangbei laughed, stood up and asked, what do you have to reward me? Of course, on the first day that fresh delivery advertising was officially established, I won 2 big customers. Isn't it worth rewarding me? Zhou Ruyi asked. Zhang Xiangbei walked over, poured a glass of water for Zhou Ruyi, put it in front of her, and asked, you are so powerful, why did you go to see your dad? No, I'm going to find your dad, Zhou Ruyi said. If you have something to say, girls, don't open your mouth or shut up to curse, Zhang Xiangbei said. No, I'm not only looking for your dad, but also your father-in-law. Next, I'm going to find your mother-in-law, your aunt, your godmother, and especially your whole family, Zhou Ruyi chattered. Zhang Xiangbei glared at her and cursed, are you taking advantage of the gun, or are you just the gun? Zhou Ruyi, I didn't offend you, did I? As soon as you came in, you scolded my whole family. When Zhang Xiangbei cursed, Zhou Ruyi was stunned. She asked. What the hell are you talking about? I really went to see your father and your father-in-law. They have become our cooperative customers for fresh delivery advertising. As Zhou Ruyi spoke, she took out the cooperation agreement she signed with Lu Ligan's Renjia Tourism and placed it in front of Zhang Xiangbei. Zhang Xiangbei looked at it, burst into laughter, and cursed. Zhou Ruyi, you are so damn. Zhou Ruyi giggled, isn't it said that everything is difficult at the beginning? Starting from them, it is not difficult at all. Don't worry, Zhang Xiangbei, I know how difficult it is for advertising companies to get business. After I finish looking for your dad, I will continue. I want to go find my father. I want to win a few companies at the bottom first and be able to support the people below me, without your help. Zhang Xiangbei quickly waved his hand and said, okay, you are awesome, I am impressed by you. Zhang Xiangbei, don't think that I just like to take shortcuts, Zhou Ruyi said, I thought about it carefully before I went. I think it is really suitable for them to cooperate with us. We can help them achieve precise delivery. I just went there. Think about it, would it be a good fit for us to cooperate with food and drink and people's travel industry? It's not because of. Okay, what you said makes sense, and you are right. When doing business, as long as the general direction is correct, you can do whatever it takes, Zhang Xiangbei said. Really, I'm going to Splendid China next. Think about it, wouldn't it be appropriate for us to help them sell their house? Zhou Ruyi asked. There is also LinkedIn education, we will help them find parents, haha, these seem to be our natural partners. Okay, you can make the decision on your department's affairs, okay, Zhang Xiangbei said. Of course, Zhou Ruyi stood up and said to Zhang Xiangbei, I'm just looking for you to chat. By the way, this weekend, Fatty and Xiangnan are both back tonight. Are you treating me? Zhang Xiangbei agreed, tomorrow our house will be moving. You and Fatty will help us clean up. You won't be needed for the move. Zhou Ruyi raised her hands, made 2 okay gestures, and swung them left and right. Thank you, Tin Soldier, for reading the book every day, ranking third from top to bottom, and rewarding 2 fishes at 3 o'clock in the middle of the night. Thank you Zizhib, musicking, pale and powerless, traveler from the end of the world 69, Zi Zheng said, Wave Sparrow, book friends 2018052311285765, Huandian electrical and mechanical, yesterday's scenery, flying bat Kajin, sword cold broken bridge, void broken dreams, sand dust. You know your mood and whether the book is good or not. Book friends 201811301053053944, book friends 201704091546311083, Book friends 201906211331025336, Yongxiao with a fancy heart, only remember the original. Intention without seeing a future, heart is silent. Book friends 201703031958395050, take a look at it, XXM001A, Friendly Stone, Captain Jim, book friend 201809062232049334, Traveler Yebuzan, Professional Season Formal Wear, Niven Moore, Fangxiologo, Uechwanki, San Randaxia, book friend 1604031635313229, Jinwu Lanji, ABC 19791205, 1975 Car Fans, Furry Bears Are Not Bears monthly ticket. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all good health. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 2043. Splendid home was about to be demolished. While waiting for more than a year to move back, Zhang Chen and the others lived in a row house by the Meisi River. Dehuayuan was too far from the city, and it was inconvenient for anyone to go there, and they didn't want to go there. I decided to squeeze in here. Xiaofang's parents live on the first floor. On the second floor are 2 rooms for Zhang Chen's parents and Zhang Xiangzi. On the third floor are Zhang Chen and Xiaofang's rooms, plus a study room for them. Zhang Xiangbei didn't have a room, so he was driven next door and shared the second floor with Xiangnan. Lu Ligan and Zhang Chen said, "Don't arrange a room for him. Even if you arranged it, it would be in vain," so he went home to live there. "In a few days, when you come back, aren't you going to break them up because Nanan is also back?" Zhang Xiangbei himself didn't care. Anyway, he had his room next door, and the second floor next door was originally their world. When he was a child, he and Xiangnan lived in his grandmother's house and Tan Shahen's house, taking turns living here. It didn't matter to him where he lived in his room, he was still a little bit eager to live in it. Except for the fact that he and Xiang Nan had not gone through the formalities, everyone had long believed that they were a couple, and no one thought there was anything wrong with living together. Lu Ligan and Zhang Chen said, "Now let Bai Bei step in and treat you as your son-in-law. After they complete the formalities, they will return it to you, and you will also get a ride on Nanan." Roll. Zhang Chen cursed, and then let it go. Although the 2 families opened 2 doors, they had already been a family. After Zhang Chen and the others moved here, Lu Ligan and Tan Shahen, as expected, "You don't even need to turn on the fire, just go next door to eat." On Saturday morning, Lao Tan brought dozens of people and 8 or 9 cars over and helped them move Zhang Chen and Xiaofang's home, Zhang Chen's parents' home, and Xiaofang's parents' home in one trip. Sun Xiangyang and Zhou Ruyi said they were here to help organize things, but in fact they couldn't get involved at all. There were grandma and grandma at home, Tan Shahen and Xiaofang, and Chu Tianlin and Zhao Zheng who came to help. They had enough manpower. What they needed to do was jong the things to the north will be sorted out in a while. After finishing here, they ran to the next door to help. Grandma Zhang Xiangbei said to them, "Let's go. If you take Zixi out, you are helping us." Even the 2 land reclamation warriors have been chased away by 2 old ladies go to their workshop in the underground parking lot, there is no need for them here. The 4 of them took Zhang Xiangzi and strolled along the Meisi River for a while. On the weekend, the sun was shining brightly, the spring flowers were blooming, and people were crowding around the Meisi River. After strolling for a while, the 4 of them didn't want to go shopping anymore. Zhang Xiangbei thought about going to work. He seemed to be no longer used to the days of doing nothing. Xiangnan also thought about visiting Zhou Ruyi's advertising agency. The 5 of them simply drove to Jibao's Banmuishan logistics base. When they arrived on the second floor, Xiangnan took Zixi and Zhou Ruyi away. As soon as Fatty Sun arrived at the unit, he was asked to leave. Zhang Xiangbei walked to his office alone. Wu Huan was also in the office next door. The door was open. Zhang Xiangbei walked in. He was still thinking about what happened yesterday. He asked Wu Huan, "What happened next?" "I asked if she could leave her home. Her younger brother and younger sister were studying in the countryside and they would be there for a week. If there was no one at home, her mother would have trouble eating every day," Wu Huan said. "Then what are her plans?" Zhang Xiangbei asked. "What other plans does she have? She just wants to participate in our Sui help activity, grow vegetables and raise sheep at home, and at the same time take care of her mother. Alas, I also told her, it's not that we don't want to help her, really it's because the conditions are not ripe." Wu Huan sighed as he spoke. Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan said that their home was not far from Linxia. If we set up a supply base in Linxia, we would have the conditions to include her in the Suishaogang activity immediately. Wu Huan nodded and smiled bitterly. "How long will it take?" Zhang Xiangbei thought for a while and said to Wu Huan, "In this way, you first have someone verify her information. If it is confirmed, you can first put her on the Suishaobang help list. Doesn't her family have difficulties? You can first lend her principal to buy lambs. It cannot be developed in 10 days and a half. Let her be raised first, and at the same time, help her connect with citizens who are willing to help her online. In this way, when we build the base in Linxia, she will have sheep to sell and earn income." Wu Huan said yes. The process for their Suishuabang to confirm the needy families to be assisted is that the applicant first provides his or her identity information and family situation, and then Zaixianshuang sends someone or calls to the village committee where the applicant is located to verify the application. If the owner's situation is confirmed, they can be included in the list, and then they will send people to collect on-site statistics on their breeding and planting information, and install cameras. After these processes are completed, the information of the farmer in difficulty will be posted to the Suishibang channel of their Zaixian delivery, so that enthusiastic citizens can start to subscribe, or the system will match the number of people who have already signed up. He connected with the concerned citizens. "There is another way," Zhang Xiangbei said. "Isn't it a national-level poverty-stricken county? When you contact the village committee, take a look and see if there are many families like her in their village. If there are many, can the village committee come forward to organize these families and organize them to raise sheep together? Sheep are not afraid. They are no different than vegetables. If they are harvested a day later, they will get old and rotten. As long as the breeding scale reaches a certain level, if it doesn't work, I will send a truck to Evian to transport the sheep to our farm for slaughter and processing. Then send it out later, so that we can help them even before our base in Linxia is built." Wu Huan said yes, this is a good idea, maybe we can also use them as the center, and then unite with the surrounding villages to establish one of our mutton supply bases. Zhang Xiangbei said yes, I also have this idea. Zhang Xiangbei returned to his office. After a while, Xiang Nan walked in. Zhang Xiangbei asked, "Where's Zixi? She must go to the workshop below to watch chickens and ducks being killed." "Zhou Ruyi took her there," Xiang Nan said. "Why does this little girl like to watch this?" Zhang Xiangbei said. "What's the point? She has watched grandma and grandma killing chickens and ducks so many times. Didn't we watch that less when we were children?" Before the chicken was killed, Zixi wanted to comfort the chicken, but when the chicken saw her, when she ran away, there were chickens trying to peck her, which scared her so much that she ran away, Xiangnan said, and Zhang Xiangbei laughed. "She told me that fish are the best. The fish were kept in buckets before they were killed. She touched them to comfort them and sang to them. The fish were very good and would not escape." As Xiang Nan said this, Zhang Xiangbei couldn't laugh or cry, so he asked Xiang Nan, "By the way, when I first came in, I saw you sitting here alone with a sad face. What were you doing?" "I'm thinking about something," Zhang Xiangbei said. "What are you thinking about?" Xiangnan asked. I want to help someone, but I don't know how, Zhang Xiangbei said. Xiangnan asked, who do you want to help? Zhang Xiangbei opened the letter on his computer and said to Xiangnan, look, this is the letter for help we received. Xiangnan sat down and read the letter. Her eyes were already red. She said, why is she so pitiful? My dear, you must help her. Zhang Xiangbei said, we just want to help her, but we don't know how to help her. Her home is more than 500 kilometers away from our nearest purchase point. It's impossible for us to send a car there for their family's things. Come on, this is unrealistic. Then go and collect it, dear, isn't it just a waste of gas money? Can I pay for the shipping fee every time I go to her place? Xiangnan asked anxiously. That's not the problem, Zhang Xiangbei said. What's the problem? You have to be principled when doing good things. Sometimes you have to be ruthless, even if you don't save them until they die. Zhang Xiangbei said, it's not that I don't want to save them. If I have the ability, I will save all such needy households. Rescue, but I don't have the ability. I have the ability to help her alone, but next, there are Wang Yan, Li Yan, Chen Yan, Zhang Yan, and Qian Yan. What should I do? Can we help? And there will definitely be people who are more miserable than her, and more difficult than her. If we help every one of them unconditionally, it will definitely be beyond our capabilities. Even if we include the entire fresh food delivery, it's not enough. This is why we set the principle of proximity before doing the help thing. I am the chairman of Zaixian Shui. Since the company has set this rule, I will be the first to not break it. If I break it, then tomorrow they will help anyone else unconditionally. Can I disagree? When Xiangnan heard what Zhang Xiangbei said, he stopped talking and just sat there with his lips pouted. Zhang Xiangbei sighed and said, I was also thinking about how to help her as much as possible without violating the company's principles. Then you must find a way, okay, Xiangnan said. Zhang Xiangbei nodded and said yes. Wu Huan walked in, saw Xiangnan, and greeted her with a smile. Wu Huan and Zhang Xiangbei said, Zhou Yan and his village committee cannot be contacted. What's wrong? Zhang Xiangbei asked. The call went through, but no one answered. I didn't know if it was because of Saturday. I asked Zhou Yan, and she said no, it was because there was no one in their village committee. All the young people there had gone out to work. The director himself went to work in Shenzhen and did not come back for several years. He has long wanted to be the director, but he can't change it even if there is a new term. No one wants to be the village director, Wu Huan said. Is there such a thing? Zhang Xiangbei asked. What's weird about this? In a poor village, you think it's like a village near Hangzhou, everyone is vying to be the village director. In a village so poor that if you become the director, you won't have any money or water at all. What's the trouble? We still have to deal with it, and no one in my hometown village wants to be the village director, so everyone ran away, Wu Huan said. Thank you for the monthly votes of 4 + 1 = 5, Zipanjiang 1, Shachin Mood, Huandian Electromechanical, Moral Flame, Earthman Wizard, Qian Dad, Bama Xiaolong, Shi Yitan, Musicking, Book Friends 0910261531555820, Book Friends 1404202143375880. Thanks for all the votes and reading. Have a good evening everyone. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 2044. By the way, Zhou Yan's personal information has been sent over. Do you want to see it? Wu Huan asked. Yes, show me. Before Zhang Xiangbei said a word, he immediately shouted to Xiangnan. Wu Huan picked up her mobile phone and opened WeChat. Zhang Xiangbei and Xiangnan leaned over. They saw Zhou Yan sent a video to Wu Huan. In the video, she was standing in front of a shabby wall, wearing cheap sportswear. She took it and held her ID card in her hand, proving that the ID card was indeed hers. Below are photos of the front and back of 2 ID cards, as well as a photo of a university admission letter, proving that she indeed dropped out of university as stated in the letter. Looking at the video, Xiang Nan was slightly surprised. It's really beautiful. Wu Huan nodded, yes. Although Zhou Yan in the video does not wear makeup, she still looks very delicate, with her hair tied back into a ponytail. Zhang Xiangbei didn't feel anything, but Xiangnan and Wu Huan knew that with such a face shape, as long as they had their hair styled, slightly changed their hairstyle, and put on a little makeup, the girl would not be beautiful, but could be said to be stunning. Xiang Nan sighed, it's so unfair. Wu Huan looked at her and smiled, why do you have such emotion? That's right, Xiang Nan said, you haven't seen that she is so good looking. In that place, she can still be admitted to college, which shows that she is not stupid. A smart and beautiful girl has to endure. What do you think she did wrong with this? There is nothing wrong with her. Her only mistake is that she was not born in the right place. She should not have been born there. If she were in Hangzhou or other cities, with her conditions, the job she could find would definitely not be too bad. After all, this is still a society that values appearance, and there will definitely be many people pursuing her. She just got married, and the conditions of the husband she chose should not be any worse. It is definitely possible for 2 people to live a moderate life together, let alone being very high. Are you right? That's what she was wrong about. She was born in the wrong child, otherwise, her life would have been completely different. Wu Huan nodded, feeling that what Xiang Nan said was right. She herself came from the countryside and felt deeply about this. She felt that this Zhou Yan was not only born in the wrong place, but also had the wrong family. Family, like a rope, tied her tightly. If it weren't for this, she, like herself, would not have gone back after finishing college, but would have chosen to stay in the city. If you stay in the city, you will always have more opportunities. Although children like them from the countryside have to experience more hardships and endure more hardships than children in the city. Like herself, who just arrived at the company when I was young, I lived in a dormitory with 5 other girls. They could only envy the local girls who could go home every day. When she was finally able to share a room with others and live in a room by herself, she had been in Hangzhou for 3 years and lived in a group dormitory for 3 years. When she lived in a group dormitory, she felt that the room was not hers. The bed there was just a place for her to rest her body temporarily, no different from the table in the warehouse or the passenger seat of the delivery truck. These were places where she could only fall asleep when she was very sleepy. When she fell asleep in such a place, she would not even have a peaceful dream, and would always be woken up by people in the same room. You can't put valuable things in the dormitory, you can't put cash, you can't put delicious food, you can't even put meal tickets. If they disappear accidentally, Wu Huan must carry all these things with him. At that time, she felt that everything about her was following her, and there was nothing worth missing in that dormitory. When there is nothing worth remembering in a place, it does not belong to you at all. Even in the winter, when they return to the dormitory and get into bed, they must put down the mosquito net. Only in this way can they pretend to be there. Deceive yourself that this small space belongs to you and is warm. Only in this way can you separate yourself from the world outside the mosquito net, read a book or be in a daze. When she finally got her own room, she cried bitterly after closing the door. She felt that she had finally established a foothold in the city. Although the city did not belong to her yet, it was finally not so alien. No matter how wronged she was outside, she could finally return to her room, my room. This room was bigger than the world inside the mosquito net, and the door seemed stronger than the mosquito net. After closing the door, she can howl loudly or laugh wildly, and ignore the world outside the door. She doesn't have to take all the things worthy of her care with her. They can finally have a safe place to live, and they can stay in your room, my room. That day, Wu Huan cried and laughed in his room. He stayed up all night and was reluctant to sleep. After getting her own room, Wu Huan felt that her heart began to sink and she felt a little safer. When she could even let her younger brother Wu Yu bring his good friend Sheng Chunyang and other classmates to her place as guests, several people care about her. When he got out of bed and had a drink and a meal, Wu Huan felt a sense of satisfaction that he had not seen for a long time. Wu Huan liked to hear Wu Yu and his classmates talk about my sister's place, which meant that it was a place different from their dormitory, and that the place belonged to his sister. Wu Huan could hear some pride in Wu Yu's tone. She understands this complacency very well. In addition to the company's dormitory, like them, she has also lived in a school dormitory for 4 years. She understands it very well. When Wu Yu talked about my sister's place, he was talking about a home. But for foreigners in the city, home is a word that is too luxurious and sparkling. In order to take care of this 12 square meter room, Wu Huan can be said to have worked hard. As a monthly salary, she needs to give her brother 500 yuan for living expenses and send 200 yuan to her family. The rest, apart from paying the rent, is all she needs. There wasn't much left. She didn't dare to go to colleagues' gatherings or dinner appointments. She didn't even dare to go downstairs to have Chinese food together at noon. She was just afraid that a few people would get excited and order a few dishes, and then her living expenses for the day would exceed her expenses. Not only would she have to be hungry at night, she would also be hungry for breakfast the next day, otherwise she would not be able to make it to the end of the month. She has been promoting in the company that she is losing weight so that she can decline various invitations. In fact, if she loses weight for free, even if a cow is put in front of her, she can eat it and then pick at it in a cool way. Teeth. Wu Huan looked at the other girls. Before they got off work, they began to make movie, dinner, and boyfriend appointments. She couldn't make any appointments. She was envious in her heart, but it was just envy. She knew that someone with mediocre looks like her would graduate. For a girl whose school is mediocre and whose family is poor, in this city, it is a miracle that she can persevere and she cannot expect too much. She has no parents to act coquettishly, tell them that she has no money, and then she will receive a red envelope immediately. No one in this world will give her a red envelope, even on her birthday. She can only I received a message from Wu Yu, happy birthday, sister. When she got off work, other people in the company had to go to various appointments. Wu Huan rode a red public bicycle and pedaled hard. She had to ride for 5 stops before catching a bus, not for anything else but for the public bicycle. It's free within an hour. If you ride 5 more stops, you can save 3 yuan in bus fares every day. Wu Huan has blocked almost all his classmates in his WeChat circle of friends, just for fear that they might do something bad. If something good happened to them, it would be a disaster for her. In the group of classmates, she saw others asking, "Is Wu Huan there?" When someone else at her, she can only remain silent. I don't know how many nights Wu Huan lay in bed, staring at the ceiling above her head in a daze. She didn't know where her future would be. Although her income was increasing year by year, her expenses were also getting bigger year by year. Although I live farther and farther away from the city center, the rent is still rising year by year. Especially the house prices in Hangzhou are soaring year by year. From their emotions and anger, they have finally reached a point where they have nothing to do with them. They don't even dare to dream, and their anger is no longer worth it. They are completely worthless. Feel. Wu Huan didn't know how long he would have to rent a rental house. This city had long ago crushed everyone's dreams. Dream was a synonym for a joke, a word reserved only for a few people. Dream. Few, You deserve it too. Wu Huan felt that he had finally become a person floating in the air. After being away from home for so many years, it was impossible to go back to his hometown. Life in his hometown was already colder and more distant than city life, and it was a life with no hope. They couldn't even go home for the new year and couldn't stay in their hometown. In the end, they fled there in the same way. She couldn't go back to her hometown, and the city kept rejecting her from time to time. Wu Huan really didn't know how long she could carry on like this, or where her destination would be. When Wu Huan felt like Zhou Yan said in her letter, feeling that all the roads had been traveled and there was no way out, a miracle really happened. Wu Yu's Women's Street was actually chosen by Xiao Fang and invested immediately. Ladies' Street was later sold to Doubao.com. The day Wu Huan got the money, she took Wu Yu to buy a house, and it must be an existing house. She was so eager to truly own her own home, even if it was just a bare house. She was there lying on the concrete floor is also good. She has a house, a car, money in the bank, and her own seat on the Doubao website. Her annual income is more than 10 times her original income. All of this happened so fast that she felt I was so dizzy that I had to pinch myself constantly every day to believe that I was not in a dream. Wu Huan suddenly became a part of the city, living at the top of the tower, and finally became a legendary financially free person. Wu Huan was very grateful to Xiao Fang for this. She felt that if there were really angels in this world, Xiao Fang would be her angel. Wu Huan told Xiao Fang that she was willing to do whatever she asked her to do. This was true, and there was no hypocrisy at all. Wu Huan agreed with Xiang Nan's sentiments. She felt that Zhou Yan was even more unlucky than herself. Not only was she reborn in the wrong place, but she was also reborn in the wrong home. Although her home was also very poor, at least that home was not rich. It became her entanglement and allowed her to stay in the city for so many years. She struggled, and finally waited for a miracle. Zhou Yan didn't even have a chance to struggle in the city. Her home was like a spring. When she was admitted to college, left home, and was about to spread her wings and fly high, the spring suddenly pulled her away. Pulled back. Wu Huan sighed heavily, looked at Xiang Nan, smiled bitterly and shook her head. Thank you, Tin Soldier, for the reward of 2 fishes, 1 up and 1 down. Thank you it's UW, the great time traveler, leaving the game, Agi, Wu Yu Hao, Shi Yitan, Shiyo 201808241246544421, Chuan Lin, Flat Tire Mars Rover, Shiyo 201811301053053944, Shiyo 201911021135464718, Huandian Electrical, Niu in 1973, Book Friend 201905222127404445, Feng Konghu 1974, Lulu 6717P11, Lao Chantang, Book Friend 201708182135179119, 1975 Carfan, Administrator of the 3rd floor of the library, Robin Granite, Yunlong Frogfish, Winsanliu, Water Chestnut in the Lake, monthly. Tickets for GH 7777, Book Friend 201809062232049934, Book Friend 1611222210502244, and Book Friend 1604031635313329. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all good health. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 2045. She was very anxious about this matter. I explained it to her repeatedly and told her that without a certificate from the local village committee, we would have no way to identify her as the target of our assistance. Wu Huan said. She was very anxious. She cried and said that there was no one in their village committee, and it was impossible for those people to come back from other places just for their family to give them proof. She also asked me if I could just give us the cell phone number of their village director so that we can contact them directly. He will prove that what she said is true. Yes, that's okay, Xiangnan said. Zhang Xiangbei shook his head and said, no, how can a mobile phone prove that he is the village director? We insist on calling the village committee's landline, that is, we have to find the village committee directly to be sure. Alas, they are too far away from Xiang Yun and the others. Otherwise, let Xiang Yun, it is also possible for Evian to directly send people to the village to verify. Yes, that's what I told her. I said, this is our company's system. If there is no way to verify, we really can't identify her as our assistant's target, Wu Huan said and sighed, but this Zhou Yan is very stubborn and pestered me for your WeChat account. She wants to tell you in person. Then added and listened to what she said. As Xiang Nan said, he picked up Zhang Xiangbei's cell phone and asked Wu Huan, what is her WeChat account? Wu Huan looked at Zhang Xiangbei and shouted to Xiangnan, don't look at him, we women, why bother women? Both Wu Huan and Zhang Xiangbei couldn't help but laugh. Zhang Xiangbei nodded. Wu Huan told Xiang Nan Zhou Yan's WeChat ID. Xiang Nan immediately added Zhou Yan, who accepted it almost immediately. Xiangnan said, I am Zhang Xiangbei. Zhou Yan, I know, thank you Mr. Zhang for adding me on WeChat. Xiang Nan asked, has Mr. Wu told you about your situation? Zhou Yan, I told you, but Mr. Zhang, the situation here is a bit special. If you don't believe it, would you like me to go to the village committee door and video chat with you again to see if what I said is true? Are the doors of the village committee locked, and is there no one inside? Xiang Nan quickly said, no, I believe what you said. Zhou Yan, thank you, Mr. Zhang. I still hope Mr. Zhang can help me. Xiang Nan turned to Zhang Xiangbei and asked, is there no other way? I think your rules are a bit rigid. She is a special situation. You have already helped hundreds of thousands of families. If you are still missing this family, you can't help her. Zhang Xiangbei said, it's not that I don't want to help, it's true that I can't help. If we want to continue this activity for a long time, we must reduce human intervention and institutionalize it. If we change this here today, change that tomorrow, and today this special, that special tomorrow, it won't be long before the whole event will be completely different. Wu Huan also felt in a dilemma. From the bottom of her heart, of course she wanted to help Zhou Yan, but she also felt that what Zhang Xiangbei said was right. Only professional people can do professional things well. Feelings are one thing, and the system is another. It's another thing. A sound system and strict execution are the guarantee of the entire activity. While they were talking, Zhang Xiangbei's cell phone in Xiang Nan's hand kept buzzing. This was the incoming WeChat message. Xiang Nan looked down and saw that Zhou Yan had sent several pictures. The girl in it is very innocent, more beautiful than in the video, but you can tell it's her. Xiang Nan couldn't help but praise, it's so beautiful. Zhou Yan, thank you, Mr. Zhang. Xiang Nan said, she is more beautiful and more elegant than in your video. Zhou Yan made a grimace and said sadly, these were all taken when I was studying. When I look at these photos now, I feel like I'm in a dream. I can't believe it. I really stayed on the university campus for more than a year. It was the best time for me. Day. Looking at these words, Xiang Nan felt sad. She herself had been in college for more than a year. The more than a year at Nortel was not the most beautiful life for her. The beauty was just the first one. During the semester, what follows is a struggle all the way. Xiang Nan still thought that it was really unfair between people. Zhou Yan had been studying in college for more than a year. She wanted to continue studying, but it was impossible. She was forced to leave school. Compared with her, who am I? I have been studying for more than a year, but I voluntarily gave up on continuing to study and dropped out of school. How can this be the same? Xiongnan sighed and asked Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan, what would happen if she passed your review? We will give her 5,000 yuan first and let her buy lambs and raise them first, Wu Huan said. Xiangnan said, in that case, you don't need to review it. I'll just give her 5,000 yuan, okay. These are two different things, Zhang Xiangbei said. The money given to her is not our company's money, but money obtained from donations. We must be responsible for every donation. Same thing. Xiangnan said, in this case, even if I lend it to her first, is it okay? You should follow your procedures and review it slowly. After you complete the review, can you give me the 5,000 yuan? It's just a time difference. What's not allowed? Besides, what I'm giving her now is my money, not yours, and it's not a donation. The donation will be released after the conditions are met. Wu Huan thought about it for a while, and she said that was okay, or I could pay the 5,000 personally. Anyway, we decided to help her. With her conditions, it would only be a matter of time before she passed the review. No, I'll come, Xiangnan said, and transferred 5,000 to Zhou Yan, and then said to Zhou Yan, go buy a baby sheep. I hope your dream will come true. Zhou Yan was there and said quickly, thank you, Mr. Zhang, thank you very much. Xiongnan returned Zhang Xiangbei's mobile phone to him and said to him, I used the 5,000 in your WeChat wallet and will return it to you later. Zhang Xiangbei glared at her, Wu Huan laughed at the side, and Xiongnan also laughed. If you don't want it, throw it down, Xiangnan and Zhang Xiangbei said. Zhou Ruyi brought Zhang Xiangzi in. She saw Xiangnan's playful face and asked Xiongnan, what are you so happy about? I just helped a beautiful woman, Xiangnan said. Pervert, are you attracted to beautiful women? Zhou Ruyi asked. Xiangnan said of course. Xiangnan then told Zhou Ruyi about Zhou Yan's matter, and Zhou Ruyi shouted, what the hell, is there such a tragic thing in our Zhou family? Of course, you think everyone named Zhou has a good father, Xiangnan said. Show me this beauty, Zhou Ruyi said, I will also find a way to help her next time. Xiongnan picked up Zhang Xiangbei's mobile phone on the coffee table, opened WeChat, and showed Zhou Ruyi's photos of Zhou Yan. Zhang Xiangzi also squeezed over to take a look. Zhou Ruyi said, it's really good. She can become the internet celebrity of our Xixian delivery. From now on, she will be Mutton's Ishi or Mutton's sister. I will go to her when I am filming commercials so that she can earn more. Say yes to the South. Zhang Xiangzi rubbed his nose upwards and told them, I think Nanan still looks better. You only have Nan Nan in your eyes. Which one is more beautiful, Nan Nan or me? Zhou Ruyi pointed at Zhang Xiangzi with her finger, Zixi, don't forget, I just gave you chocolate. Zhang Xiangzi patted his belly and said, the chocolate is already in here. There is no way, there is no sister. Zhang Xiangzi spread his hands, our teacher said that children cannot lie. Compared with you and Nan Nan, Nan Nan is better looking, and Nan Nan is the prettiest. Everyone laughed. Xiongnan picked up Zhang Xiangzi and shook his head proudly. Zhang Xiangzi put his face close to his and said to Xiongnan, Nanan, here. Xiongnan kissed her on the face, and Zhang Xiangzi giggled. What sister did Zixi just call you? Wu Huan asked Zhou Ruyi. No, Zhou Ruyi said, who knows what she was yelling about. No, it's sister, Zhang Xiangzi said and laughed. No, my teeth are about to fall out laughing. You are the sheep, you are the one who screams. Zhou Ruyi raised her hands in the air as if she was going to hit Zhang Xiangzi, and she laughed herself. The next day on Sunday, Zhang Xiangbei and Xiongnan didn't get up until after 10 o'clock. The house was quiet. Tan Shahen and Lu Ligan didn't know where they were. After washing, they went downstairs and walked next door. Zhang Chenhe and Xiao Fang also went out, and only 4 old people and Zhang Xiangzi were still at home. Zhang Xiangzi pouted and was angry. She was angry that Xiaofang and Zhang Chen had just gone out without her. When they saw Zhang Xiangbei and Xiongnan coming, Zhang Xiongzi immediately beamed. Zhang Xiangbei and Xiongnan took Zhang Xiongzi and drove to Tuxianjiayuan Hotel. At noon, they had lunch with Lao Tuo, Ding Yusong, and Yin Tao. Lao Tuo wanted to learn some information from Zhang Xiangbei, saying that they wanted to write a TV series that reflected their fresh home delivery business. Zhang Xiangbei refused several times, but to no avail. Lao Tuo said that this is the task of the propaganda department of the municipal party committee, and why did your Suishao gang activity have such a huge social response? Ding Yusong and Yin Tao came yesterday afternoon, saying they were here to help Zhang Xiangbei pack his things. When they arrived at Xiongnan's house, Xiongnan and Zhang Xiangbei were missing. The two of them were also missing, and they did not show up until noon today. They drove back to Yongcheng with Xiongnan in the afternoon. Halfway through the meal, Xiongnan's phone rang. It was Zhou Ruyi. As soon as the call came through, Zhou Ruyi shouted, "Xiangnan, it's bad, your Zhang Xiangbei is on the hot search." "No sister, what are you talking about?" Xiangnan asked. "No, you see for yourself, the beauty you helped yesterday turned against her." "She's not a beauty, she's just a beautiful snake," Zhou Ruyi shouted. "Wu Huan and I are in the office. Come over here quickly. Let's think about it together. Think of ways to." Xiangnan hung up the phone and immediately opened Weibo. Sure enough, Zhou Yan's article was being reposted everywhere on Weibo, saying that she was a Suishaobang of Zaixian delivery. It was just a show. She had already applied for many times, were rejected. Zhou Yan also complained that Zhang Xiangbei, the owner of Zaixian delivery, was a pervert. No matter how she begged him, it was useless. But after she sent him a few photos, he found out that she was a beautiful woman. Without saying a word, she immediately transferred 5,000 yuan to her. The post also attached WeChat screenshots of Zhou Yan, Wu Huan, and Zhang Xiangbei, which contained the 5,000 yuan that Zhang Xiangbei had transferred to her. Xiangnan didn't have time to take a closer look, and a chill had already risen in her heart. She quickly took Zhang Xiangbei's phone, opened WeChat, clicked on Zhou Yan, and asked, "What do you mean?" A red exclamation mark appeared on the screen, and Zhou Yan had blocked Zhang Xiangbei. Xiangnan couldn't help but curse. "Nan, you said dirty words," Zhang Xiangzi shouted from the side. "Thank you for looking at the landscape, leisurely taking a look. Heart is silent, furry bear is not a bear. Book friend 531 400, month 9 month 6 bird 33, white horse and little dragon, for whom the wind is exposed in the middle of the night 1, book friend 20181130105305305944, book friend 202009111601099750, book friend 201809062232049334 monthly pass. Thanks for all the votes and reading. Have a good evening everyone. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 2046. Zhang Xiangbei and his group didn't have time to eat, so they immediately rushed to the Zaixian delivery. Wu Huan, Zhou Ruyi, Sun Xiangyang, and Li Wei were already waiting for them in the conference room. As we all know, this incident has had a huge impact on Zaixian delivery, especially on the Suishivang activity, which can be said to be devastating. The internet has regarded this matter as a shady scandal. Under Zhou Yan's post, there are not only many people who are watching the fun and gossiping, but also enthusiastic citizens who participated in their Suishao help activities. They left a message below saying that they didn't expect this activity to be so dark, and that home fresh delivery was deceiving everyone's kindness. Under these posts, someone called on the relevant departments to conduct a thorough investigation of Zaixiansha to see where everyone's donations went. There were even human flesh searches for Zhang Xiangbei. Fortunately, there was no negative news about Zhang Xiangbei, but someone found out the news that Xiang Nan was Zhang Xiangbei's girlfriend. Someone immediately said, "No wonder, they have already gone to keep female celebrities. So Zhang Xiangbei needs to defraud everyone of their money." Some people even say that someone who likes to keep female celebrities would be a good person. This also involves Xiang Nan. Zhang Xiangbei asked Wu Huan, "Has anyone withdrawn from the Zaixian Shui membership?" "Not yet, but it is estimated that there will be one soon." "Now everyone is waiting and watching, waiting for our response," Wu Huan said, "but some people have already wanted to withdraw from the Suishao help activity, and the customer service center is still. If we don't respond well to our persuasion work, I'm afraid the momentum will not be stopped." Zhang Xiangbei frowned and said, "Following this, there will definitely be a large number of Zaixian Shui members who will cancel their memberships. Yes, if this matter turns into a scandal, first of all, those government agencies and schools will definitely cancel business cooperation with us. Now everyone is still more careful in this regard, and try to avoid it as much as possible." Wu Huan said, and Zhang Xiangbei sighed, "You can't blame them. Anyone who doesn't dodge will be swept away by the fire. They say they are aiding the evil, and I am that evil." It is true that on the internet, netizens require higher moral standards when treating others. In reality, everyone is just a fool and calculating their interests. But once online, everyone becomes a saint, especially when there is no cost to being a saint. If Zaixian delivery becomes a platform with moral flaws, everyone will be happy to criticize it with words and deeds, create a large-scale social death scene, and drown the platform with saliva. What scandal is there? What happened yesterday was so simple. What kind of scandal could it be? Xiang Nan was so angry that he couldn't help shouting. Lao Tuo said, "It doesn't matter whether things are simple or not. The key is to make everyone believe that this is a simple thing. In other words, if we think this is a simple thing, we have to find a way to make everyone believe it. What we say is, if you can't do it, it's all for nothing." Everyone in the conference room was silent. Everyone knew that Lao Tuo was right, and this was indeed the key to the problem. Lao Mo put his fingers on the conference table and said, "Come on, let me understand the previous plot first, and then we will think about how the subsequent plot should develop and how we can reverse the subsequent plot." Wu Huan told everyone what happened yesterday. While Lao Mao listened, he reread Zhou Yan's articles and the WeChat chat records she uploaded. After Wu Huan finished speaking, Lao Tuo sighed and said, "It's true. Not even our humming screenwriters can come up with such a plot. It's so perfect. Look at these chat records." Wu Huan has indeed been telling this woman that according to the company's regulations, she can't do it yet. To include this woman on the assistance list, she must first go through the review process. When we arrived at Zhang Xiangbei's place, we were all on the same page at first, but after someone sent us a few photos, our tone immediately changed. We were praising the other person's beauty, and saying they had a good temperament, without any review, etc. If you mention it, I will immediately transfer 5,000 yuan to someone and let them buy a baby sheep. Isn't this a standard behavior of a pervert and a scumbag? Isn't it a real deal? Lao Tuo's words made everyone feel cold. Indeed, looking at the information on the internet, it is really just like what Lao Tuo said. It doesn't matter if Zhang Xiangbei is not a pervert and a scumbag. Oh, I said those words. I even added the WeChat account and transferred the money. If he dares to say such things to other women and transfer money, I will break his legs. Xiang Nan shouted. No matter how solemn the atmosphere in the conference room was, everyone couldn't help laughing after hearing Xiang Nan's words. Zhou Ruyi looked at Fatty Sun and shouted. I support interruption. Ding Yusong asked, Zhou Ruyi, why do you support Fatty? Fatty is in danger of being interrupted. I think you are in danger, Yin Tao shouted to Ding Yusong, and the conference room became a mess. Zhang Xiangzi looked at Xiangnan and shouted seriously. Nanan, let me tell you, you can't break Baibei's legs, otherwise Baibei will become a lame. Baibei will become a lame, limping. If I ride on his shoulders, he will fall off. Everyone was laughing like crazy. Okay, the atmosphere has come out. We have to create such an atmosphere first, Lao Mo said. We have to stir up the water first, turn a serious matter into gossip, and attract the attention of netizens first. Transferred. By the way, who of you can still contact this woman? The old lady asked. Xiang Nan and Wu Huan both shook their heads. Wu Huan said, she blocked me on WeChat and on my phone. He's a habitual criminal, he's skilled in his techniques. Lao Mo sighed, it sounds like he's a habitual criminal, and he commits crimes in a gang. What do you mean, Lao Tuo? Zhang Xiangbei heard that Lao Tuo had something to say and asked quickly. The old man asked Wu Huan, has anyone else contacted you about this matter? Wu Huan said no. They are letting the matter ferment for a while. Lao Tuo said, if I were the screenwriter or the strategist of the other team, what would I do next? I would let this matter ferment and let Zhang Xiangbei and Yu Zai Xianxiao. I feel a lot of pressure, I have no ability to fight back, I can only parry, and I am overwhelmed. What do you think will happen next? Oh, old man, don't be so showy, tell me what will happen, Zhou Ruyi shouted. At this time, does your company want to eliminate the impact at all costs? You must stop the loss in time to prevent this matter from continuing to spread. Moreover, it is best to make things develop in your favor. The old lady asked Wu Huan. Wu Huan looked at Zhang Xiangbei and nodded. I estimate that tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, the people behind will appear. He will come to talk to you about how much money your company will pay. They can ask this woman to come forward and make a statement, make up any reason, and say everything it's all a misunderstanding. She apologizes for the impact it has had on your company and Zhang Xiangbei, so that the matter can be settled and the people who want to take advantage of it can disperse. For a public company like yours, on the cusp of such a storm, do you often think of settling the matter and spending money to eliminate the disaster? Wu Huan thought for a while and said honestly, if I encounter this situation, I will suggest stopping the loss in time. Otherwise, it will have a great impact on our follow-up. Even if the company cannot provide the money, I will pay it myself money, find a way to settle this matter. Yes, you are really a loyal minister, loyal to the company, and you didn't say anything. The old man raised his thumbs at Wu Huan, but the conversation immediately changed. But do you know that if you really do this, you will probably falling into the other party's trap and it's impossible to escape? Wu Huan was taken aback and asked, how could that happen? The old lady smiled and answered her, you are not the police. When people come to talk to you, you can't possibly ask them to do a thorough body search, right? That will definitely not be done, Wu Huan said. How do you know whether the other party has a recording device or a pinhole camera? Now this kind of equipment is pervasive and can be disguised perfectly. People who are not professionals have no idea at all. You don't know anything, and you are still stupid. Negotiate with others, then bargain, and finally make a deal. At this time, you all breathed a sigh of relief and thought that this matter could finally be resolved peacefully. However, they turned around and took out the audio or video to further blackmail you, put forward more demands, and threatened you that if you did not satisfy them, upon request, they posted the audio and video online. If that's the case, are you really going to collapse with a bang and the whole company collapses? You actually make such a dirty deal with others, which not only makes things that everyone was still doubtful about before, but also makes it more real. You can't escape. Yes, your fresh food is what you told that woman. Zhang Xiangbei is a pervert and a scumbag, with the word big added in front of it. Otherwise, why would you trade with others and want to silence them? Didn't you say that you are not afraid of a slanted shadow if you are upright? Since you are not what the woman said, Why do you do this? Lao Tuo looked at Wu Huan and Zhang Xiangbei and asked aggressively. Not only Wu Huan and Zhang Xiangbei, but also other people in the conference room were stunned by the question. Everyone took a breath and felt that Lao Tuo was right. Everything may really be like what he said: when you try to cover up a mistake, you fall into a bigger mistake. Zhang Xiangzi shouted, "Bai Bei, Nanan, I tell you, you have met a bad person." The old man smiled at Zhang Xiangzi and said, "Yes, that's right, they met a bad guy, a very bad man. Did you see it? Even a child like this knows it. At that time, you will really be cornered. Don't agree? Once people really put things online, you will be dead. Agree? You should understand it yourself. This is probably just someone else. The second step, and then the third and fourth steps, you will be led by their noses." Lao Mo, you are not the guy behind them. You directed all of this, right? It's so real, Ding Yusong shouted. A reasonable plot, you know? This is a reasonable plot. If it doesn't go on like this plot will not be reasonable. Lao Mo looked sideways at Zhang Xiangbei and smiled proudly. If I were really their director, Zhang Xiangbei would be dead. Thank you for the reward of 2 fishes. Thank you Smoke Kiss Lighter, Book Friend 201701052133111538, Ben Ware, Book Friend 1610040753540005, Wei Shir, 8 Liang, LW. Norby, Humor Tribe, Fish Eating Brother, Frivolous, Crush Killer VIP, and How, Yuzazialiu, Book Friend 201811301053053944, Void Broken Dreams, Zipanjiang 1, Good 110123, Tamagotchi, Book Friends 201807091000372231, Book Friends 201808030256355047, The Sky is Crooked, The Sky is Clear After the Free Rain, Readers 12978738407110656, Romantic Sakura Chin Shu, Lao De Bao Ei, Lu Haolang, Mike, Zhao 1017, Friendly Stone, Flat Tire Mars Rover, Take Advantage of the Mountain, Rainman, Tianying 1978. Xiang J's Monthly Pass. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all good health. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Niang. Chapter 2047. Although Zhang Xiangbei and the others all have very high IQs, Zhang Xiangbei himself is not only a top student at Yale, but also claims to have fought gangsters of all colors in the world, but when they really encounter this kind of thing, they still feel a little bit at a loss what to do and lack of social experience. At this time, they have to rely on Lao Tuo, an experienced veteran who has been hanging around in the world and dealing with all kinds of people. Zhang Xiangbei asked Lao Tuo, "Then what do you think we should do now?" The old man said to them, "As I said before, first muddy the water. When the water is muddy, a serious matter turns into gossip. When everyone looks at it with the attitude of looking at gossip, the matter will no longer exist. It's so serious, and it buys us time. Moreover, when faced with this kind of thing, you must respond quickly and not let it burn on its own, otherwise the scope will expand and it will be uncontrollable later. For this kind of thing, it is definitely better to have a response than no response, and to respond early than to delay it. The response is good, as long as it is late, public opinion will suspect that we are afraid to come out and are acquiescing." Everyone sitting here nodded. Lao Tuo and Wu Huan said to immediately publish a short statement on your company's official Weibo and your own website. The statement is very simple. It just states what the woman said and the facts. If there is any discrepancy, your Suishui gang activities have been carried out in strict accordance with relevant regulations, including all accounts, which can be checked online. Yes, I can show you if you have the 5,000 yuan, Xiang Nan said. Lao Tuo continued, the statement also emphasizes that you are verifying what the woman said, and the company has immediately convened an emergency shareholders meeting. I know it has not been held, but I must say this now, then Zhang Xiangbei, the bigger one is the shareholders meeting. According to common sense, Zhang Xiangbei wants to hide this matter, and shareholders will not be willing to have such a thing that harms the interests of shareholders happen. By the way, shareholders, please contact them yourself and let them know about this matter. The statement states that the shareholders meeting has reached a resolution. No matter who is involved in this matter, as long as it violates the relevant regulations, harms the company and participates in help the public interests of the event will definitely be dealt with seriously. Please wait for the results of your investigation. At this time, this matter cannot be denied. If you deny it, others will not believe it. You can only be so ambiguous. It is not your company or Zhang Xiangbei who wants to deny it. It will cause public outrage and can only be counterproductive. Forget it, give me the computer and I will write the statement. Wu Huan quickly pushed the laptop in front of him to Lao Mo. Lao Mo wrote the statement in a few minutes and showed it to Zhang Xiangbei and Wu Huan. Both of them thought the statement was very good and had no problems. Wu Huan asked, then I will give it away immediately. Zhang Xiangbei said, wait a moment, I will call Xiahua first. Wu Huan said yes. The shareholders of Zaixian Shui include Zhang Chen, Xiaofang, Lu Yun, Xiahua, Zhang Xiangbei, Zhou Ruyi, and Sun Xiangyang. The latter three are all here. Needless to say, Zhang Chen, Xiaofang and Lu Yun will definitely support them. Only Xiahua needs to say hello to him. We can't keep him in the dark, let alone make a statement. He won't know about it until he sees the statement. Zhang Xiangbei picked up his cell phone and dialed Xiahua's number. Just as he was about to say something, Xiahua said, Zhang Xiangbei, Mang Chao showed me the relevant things. I already know it. Don't worry, how could I believe such nonsense? Zhang Xiangbei talked to him about the resolution of the shareholders meeting, and Xiahua said yes, it's a good way to deal with it. You just have to deal with it. Thank you for your hard work. Zhang Xiangbei, the more this time comes, the more you have to hold on, you know? You have to believe that we are all on your side. I will support you in handling the crisis and whatever decision you make. You don't need to call me to ask for my opinion first. Xiahua finally said. Zhang Xiangbei said yes, thank you. It's pretty reliable to lick a dog, Yin Tao said, looking at her to the south. Yin Tao stuck out her tongue. Wu Huan's statement was sent out immediately, and everyone looked at Lao Mo and listened to his arrangements for the next thing. If you want to gossip, let's have a big one. If you want to prove that Zhang Xiangbei is not a pervert or a scumbag, whose statement is the most favorable and convincing? Lao Tuo and everyone looked at Xiang Nan. Lao Tuo smiled and said, of course it's you, Xiangnan. At this time, don't worry about whether it's embarrassing or not. Besides, that's the fact, and there's no shame in saying it. What you told me about yesterday is very convincing, but to make it even more convincing, Zhang Xiangbei said that it is not possible, and Wu Huan said that it is not possible. It sounds like sophistry. Only Xiang Xiangbei can do it. Nan, you come to defend Zhang Xiangbei, this matter will be convincing. Xiang Nan said yes, that's the truth anyway. Yes, that's the truth. Just tell the truth clearly through your mouth. At this point, the old procrastinator didn't procrastinate at all. While he was talking, he kept typing on the computer with his hands. Everyone knew what he was writing, so they became quiet, stopped talking, and held their breath. He looked at Lao Tuo, and the sound of Lao Tuo's tapping on the keyboard rang in the conference room, as if it was knocking on the hearts of each of them. Even Zhang Xiangzi bit his lip and looked at Lao Tuo with wide eyes. They waited for more than half an hour. Lao Mo finished writing a long article of nearly 2,000 words. In Xiang Nan's self-narrative tone, he explained clearly what happened yesterday afternoon. Lao Mo showed Xiang Nan the article and asked her how is it written. After reading it, Xiang Nan said, "That's what happened, but what you wrote here is a bit disgusting." "What?" "I heard her say that seeing her old photos was like a dream. I shed tears after listening to it." "How could I?" "Then are you sad?" Lao Mo asked. Xiang Nan nodded. "It's a little sad to see her say this." "That's enough, just one word difference," Lao Mo said. Xiang Nan asked, "Why is it just one word different? Crying means wet sadness, not crying means dry sadness, why are they not exactly the same word?" Lao Mo said, "If it were written that you didn't cry, the reaction was not intense enough, and the reaction was not intense enough, people would not be so excited or excited. You won't have such a strong impulse to transfer 5,000 yuan to others immediately. If there is not enough foreplay, the subsequent plot will not be reasonable enough in the eyes of others. The old lady is right, you can just cry when you cry. What's so great about it? Xiangnan, when you get to the stage, you don't just cry when you want to cry," Zhou Ruyi shouted. Xiang Nan glared at her and cursed, "Can this be the same?" "What's the difference?" Zhou Ruyi said, "You go on stage to cry for the people in the play, but here, you just cry for Zhang Xiangbei, so what? By the way, Zhang Xiangbei is said to be a pervert and a pervert. Aren't you sad that you're a scumbag?" "Nanan, let me tell you, I feel very sad for Baibei. I almost want to cry." Zhang Xiangzi said on the side. Everyone laughed. Xiangnan said, okay, that's it. "Post it on your Weibo," Lao Tuo said, "you have so many fans, it will be reposted soon and become a hot search." Xiang Nan posted this article on his Weibo, and as expected, many people liked and forwarded it. Lao Tuo, Zhou Ruyi, and Li Wei said, "How many people can you organize now?" Li Wei said, 200 to 300 is no problem. Let them go to Xiang Nan and leave a message under that woman. They can say whatever they want. By the way, you can also join in. Just say, Xiang Nan is much prettier than that woman. Zhang Xiangbei is not stupid. Even if he has such a beautiful girlfriend, he will provoke her. Also, let me tell you, Xiangnan is a rich second generation, and she doesn't need Zhang Xiangbei to support her at all. Anyway, it's just words like this. You can say whatever you want. The more muddy the water is, the better." As the old man said, Xiang Nan quickly stopped him and said, "No. Why not? Your matter ends here, and what happens next has nothing to do with you," Lao Tuo said. "It's so dirty," Xiang Nan said. "Yes, that's right. This is a dirty war. People are throwing dirty water at you. Do you still want to be dirty? If we want to win this war, we just can't be afraid of them. If we are afraid, shrink back, they succeeded. We refused to hide and jumped into the sewage to fight with them, so that we could win," Lao Mo said. Yin Tao shouted, "Okay, I'll come too." As she spoke, she picked up her cell phone and started to leave a message. Xiang Nan wanted to stop it, but it was already too late. However, before they could start to fight back, Xiang Nan's fans had already started to fight back. They went to Zhou Yan's article go down and scold her, saying that she is shameless, how dare she compare herself with Xiang Nan, and how could Zhang Xiangbei fall in love with her. Some fans said below that everyone should read Xiang Nan's response article. Everyone has made it clear that this woman is just a white-eyed wolf. Fans came back to Xiang Nan's Weibo to comfort her and support her. It was still lively here. Chen Yaojin came out halfway and posted a few photos of himself to Evian. He also said at Zhou Yan, "Do you think you are beautiful? Come on, come and compare with me. I am a homebody. The general manager of the Ningxia branch of Fresh Delivery, Zhang Xiangbei, came to Ningxia and personally recruited me into the company. Xiang Yun said, I can prove that Zhang Xiangbei is a gentleman. When we were together, including on business trips, he would not even say an outrageous word, let alone flirt with other girls. There are so many girls. I will offer a reward of my year's salary, 500,000 yuan. If anyone can come forward and say that Mr. Zhang has harassed her, I will give her the money. Xiang Yun further said, not only in our company, but also if there are other women who have evidence that Mr. Zhang has harassed you, it will be the same. The money belongs to you. Xiang Yun at Zhou Yan, ask her, are you the only girl in the world? Are you the most fragrant? Mr. Zhang doesn't touch anyone else, so he wants to harass you? Or someone you've never met in person? When Lao Tuo saw Xiang Yun's article, he couldn't help laughing. He said, not bad, not bad. This girl under your command did a good job with this knife. The whole internet was very lively. Xiang Yun was immediately called Zaixian Shaozishi, and photos of Xiangnan were circulated everywhere on the internet. On the contrary, Zhou Yan's momentum it's a bit weak. Many people said under her article that there has been a response from Xiangnan. You said here that Zhang Xiangbei is harassing you, so you need to take action. Xiao Wu and Su Qiaxin walked into the conference room. Zhang Xiangbei saw Su Qiaxin and asked, why are you here? NND, such a big melon, where can we sit at home? Why don't we rush to the scene to take a look? Su Qiaxin said, Xiangnan's article said there is a video, where is the video? There Wu Huang clicked on his phone as he spoke, and the video that Zhou Yan took while holding up his photo began to appear on the big screen on the wall. This woman is in Hangzhou. Xiao Wu glanced at the video and said, she is in Jubeo. People in the conference room were shocked, and the old man asked, how do you know? The wall behind is on Jubeo Old Street. At night, there is a food stall here. When the base was still under construction, I took the workers there for midnight snacks countless times. How could I not know? Xiao Wu said. Thank you Kong Kong Pan Pan, Jinwu Lanji, Des Hai Lao, Jigxing Felt, Book Friends 202011091113511923, Book Friends 1302141533042588 for your monthly votes. Thanks for all the votes and reading. Have a good evening everyone. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 2048. Everyone stood up one after another, left the conference room, and took several cars to Jubeo Old Street. Xiao Wu's car drove at the front. When the old street came to the end, Xiao Wu stopped. Everyone looked to the right and left. On the right is an open space. The open space is the ground where a house used to be. This house was probably demolished in half to straighten the street, and half of the house is still standing there. At night, this open space is someone set him up. Xiao Wu was right, this is where Zhou Yan took the video with her ID card in hand. The entire Jubeo Old Street is dilapidated. The entire Jubeo has been in the process of being demolished in the past 2 years. Therefore, no matter how dilapidated it is, no one has repaired it, but the people on the street are still there, the shops are still there, and the business is still there. Now, because of its dilapidation, it has become a special existence in Hangzhou. Lao Tuo said that this woman may not be in Jubeo, but they must have come here specially. It is already difficult to find such a place in Hangzhou. It's embarrassing for her. That sportswear might have been bought at the Huanbei small commodity market temporarily, Lao Tuo said. Everyone agrees with what Lao Tuo said. In order to win the trust of Wu Huan and Zhang Xiangbei, Zhou Yan wanted to photograph the feeling of a poor county. They deliberately found this place and used this old and shabby wall as the background. Come on, take your ID card and make a video too. Lao Tuo told Yin Tao, and Yin Tao understood immediately. He walked over with a smile and stood where Zhou Yan had stood. He held his ID card in his hand. It was just the front of the ID card. There were only the Great Wall and the national emblem, and the video was taken with the side issued by a certain public security bureau facing outside. After Yin Tao finished shooting, Zhou Ruyi also wanted to shoot. After Zhou Ruyi finished shooting, Su Qiaxin and Li Wei also wanted to shoot. The old lady agreed to make this place a place for internet celebrities to check in. It will be lively here tomorrow and there will definitely be many internet celebrities. Come here, today's internet celebrities are like flies, no matter whether the place is fragrant or not, they will join in as long as there is excitement. Lao Mo, what do you mean? Yin Tao asked with her eyebrows raised. The old man laughed playfully, I didn't say anything about you. You are friendly forces. Of course you are all delicious. Zhang Xiangzi also clamored to climb off Zhang Xiangbei's shoulders and take pictures, but Zhang Xiangbei said no, you kid, you can't post photos and videos online. Why, Bai Bei? Zhang Xiangzi asked. Zhang Xiangbei said no, why, it's just not good. Zhang Xiangzi was still making noises about going, but Zhou Ruyi took her away and told her to buy balloons, so Zhang Xiangzi stopped making trouble. Xiang Nan said, I'll take a video too. The old procrastinator stopped her and told her not to make it look like friendly forces. They are enough. It would be best to make it a spontaneous action by revolutionary netizens. You can just wait for likes and reposts, and the effect will be the same. Everyone returned to the car. Zhou Ruyi hugged Zhang Xiangzi, and Zhang Xiangzi came back with a balloon in one hand. Everyone got in the car, went back to Zaixian delivery, and returned to the conference room. Lao Tuo and Yin Tao said, you send that woman's video together with your video, and then at that woman and Xiang Nan, you will be responsible for liking and forwarding their videos, so that these people the two videos have become popular all over the internet. Yin Tao and the women all said yes with a smile. Wait a minute, Zhang Xiangbei shouted, mosaic the ID information in Zhou Yan's video. In Zhou Yan's video, in order to prove that the ID card is hers, when she took the photo, unlike Yin Tao and others, she was not holding up the front of the ID card, but the back, which is the side with personal details. What a mosaic, doesn't she want to be famous? Let's make her famous, Zhou Ruyi said. No, we have made a promise to all the farmers who have been assisted. We will keep their information completely confidential. No matter who Zhou Yan is or what her purpose is, when she posted this video, she applied to join the Suishui gang activities, so we still have to keep her secret, Zhang Xiangbei said. What the hell, you are really a mother-in-law, so why don't you post this video? Zhou Ruyi asked. Zhang Xiangbei was still hesitating, so Lao Mo quickly said. Mosaic the ID card and send the video. What she looks like is no longer a secret. She has already sent the photos herself. Wu Huan sent the video of Zhou Yan and the mosaic on the ID card to Yin Tao and the others. Yin Tao immediately sent her video and Zhou Yan's video together, leaving a text. I am now in Jubeo Old Street in Hangzhou. Zhou Yan, is this your home? Is it your poor village in a poor county in the northwest? At Zhou Yan at Xiangnan at Zaixiang. What Zhou Ruyi wrote was, aren't you at home? Your home and the place where I stand, the Jubeo Old Street in Hangzhou, are the same place? At Zaixian delivery at Xiangnan at Zhou Yan. Several people's videos were posted, and Xiangnan and Zaixian Shui's official WeChat accounts forwarded and liked their videos. The video immediately went viral on the internet, and everyone shouted, sure enough, what the it's reversed. The melons on the internet are really not delicious. You must be quiet first. Soon after, people nearby also ran to that place and took a video with their ID cards. These people all had their identity details facing out, and there was no mosaic. As if they were afraid that others would not recognize them, they posted it online, and also at Zhou Yan, at Xiangnan, and at Zaixian. The official Weibo accounts of Xiangnan and Zaixian Shui have been retweeted and liked by at their Weibo accounts. Only Zhou Yan's side has been quiet. These guys, NND, must be thinking of some conspiracy again, Su Qiaxin cursed. No, I think she was completely defeated. How the hell does she still have the nerve to come out, Zhou Ruyi said. Don't underestimate the shamelessness of these people, Lao Tuo said. What's more, now we only prove that she took the video in the wrong place, but we cannot prove that she is a fake person. She can definitely find a reason why her video will be filming here. For example, she can say that this was when she came to Hangzhou to work in the summer before last to earn tuition. Because she didn't make enough money, she wanted to borrow a loan shark, and the loan shark asked her to take a video. If so, she could win back the game and be poor. She had to work part-time and borrow loan sharks to pay for her tuition, so she could earn a lot of tears of sympathy. At the same time, she can also achieve the purpose of insinuating that you are just like loan sharks. She insinuates that you are also an evil force. The power of insinuation is the greatest, making you despised and unable to defend yourself. Damn Lao Tuo, luckily you are not their screenwriter, Zhou Ruyi shouted. Everyone was silent, thinking that what Lao Tuo said still made sense. Someone who supports Zhou Yan has come out on the internet and said, "What does this video mean? It was just shot in Hangzhou. Can you prove that she is fake?" Someone else said, "Yes, when she posted the video, she didn't tell you that she filmed it at home. Did she tell you? At Zhou Yan at Xiangnan at Zaixian at Xiangnan at Zaixian Shui at Zhou Yan Zaixian Shui, do you stipulate that videos can only be shot in designated places? There is no rule. If someone takes out a video that was shot before, what's the problem?" someone asked. NND, even the Navy came out, Su Qiaxin cursed. But fortunately, there is no need to wait for them to scold them, nor do they need their trolls. Many people on the internet have already started to scold them, and the whole matter is in a stalemate. It really complies with what Lao Tuo said, and the water has been very muddy. The old man said, "Okay, as long as things don't continue to develop in a worse direction, it's not a bad thing. If the other party doesn't have more concrete actions, this matter will just pass by in a blur. The internet is the most forgetful." Li Wei called back to ask the customer service center, and sure enough, there were no more people asking to withdraw from their successful help activity. It seemed that everyone was hesitant. Just like the old man said, at least things did not continue to develop in a worse direction. Everyone finally I can breathe a sigh of relief. "I'm going," Zhang Xiangbei shouted. Everyone looked at him. Zhang Xiangbei said, "My Weibo has increased by more than 7 million followers." "Mine is the same, it has increased by more than 2 million, Xiangnan said. The old lady smiled and said, "That's for sure. The melon of the scandal is so sweet. Don't we all eat it up? You two are now the man and woman in the scandal, Zhang Xiangbei. Maybe many girls will want to send you their own photos. There will definitely be nude photos." You, Xiangnan cursed. Yin Tao, Zhou Ruyi, Su Qiaxin, and Li Wei all laughed, and their number of fans also increased a lot. Wu Huan said, "So did our official WeChat account." "No, don't end it, come to the second season, it's so damn enjoyable," Zhou Ruyi shouted. Everyone looked at her, and Sun Xiangyang cursed. "Why are you so heartless? No, what's the point? The process is terrible, but the ending is wonderful, isn't it?" Zhou Ruyi curled her lips. "If we continue to be dirty, then we can prove our innocence. Wouldn't it make everyone think that our home delivery is okay? Can we be recognized by more people if we trust it? If you don't believe me, just look at it, our membership will definitely increase." "Don't say it, there is really such a risk," Lao Tuo said. "Beware of people saying that this is the woman who is related to your Zaixian, she is just hyping up. By the way, if I the other party's screenwriter, I came out to start a sewage war at this time, and I said that I had a good relationship with you, Zai Xianshui, and took your money to perform this cruel trick, and the 5,000 was actually a favor fee. He kept dragging out a sentence, making everyone look at each other in confusion. It felt like one wave had just fallen and another wave was about to rise. Everyone's hanging hearts had just been put down, and now they were about to rise again. Xiang Nan scolded Lao Tuo, "Are you done yet? It's definitely not over. As long as you're not beaten to the ground, you still have a chance to fight back. Things like this happen online every day. If you want to end it, besides being beaten to death completely, you have to be disconnected from the internet." Lao Tuo said. "You damn old guy, I'm just glad you're not the other party's screenwriter," Zhou Ruyi muttered. The old man smiled and said, "Remember not to offend me next time, otherwise I will have 10,000 ways to destroy your character. Go away, I don't have a personality to begin with. I can't collapse even if I want to. Either way, if I accuse Zhang Xiangbei of harassing me, my number of fans will definitely skyrocket." Zhou Ruyi said that Xiang Nan reached out and punched her, cursing, "How dare you? I'm telling you, Bai Bei always scratches me," Zhang Xiangzi shouted, and everyone laughed. "Thank you, Tamagotchi, for the 2 fishes, and the reward at 3 o'clock in the middle of the night. Thank you for your monthly votes from Tamagotchi, my Misty Jiangnan, Just Love Xiaoshu, Li Rujin, Yins Hirong, Book Friends 20181130105305305944, Yunlong Frogfish, Dancing with the Heart, Floating Mayfly, Professional Season Formal Wear, Book Friends 1611222210502244. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all good health." The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 2049. After a busy afternoon, Lao Mo stood up and said that he was hungry and had only eaten half full at noon. Jibao is close to Tuxianjiayuan Hotel in Xiaosha, so we went to Tuxianjiayuan Hotel in Xiaosha for dinner. Ding Yusong and Yin Tao went back to Yongcheng first. Xiangnan was supposed to go back with them this afternoon, but they were out of here. Something happened, she couldn't leave for a while. Xiangnan and Ding Yusong said, "You can arrange the affairs in the group." Ding Yusong said, I know, you are here, and you will return to Yongcheng only when everything here is settled and the world is at peace." The place where Lao Mo stayed was very close to Xiaowu and Sujiao Xian, also in Jianzhong New Town. He took Xiaowu's car. Lao Tuo and Xiang Nan Xiangbei said that if there is no progress, that's it, and there is no better way. Fortunately, it can't spread. The loss is considered to have been stopped. Just leave it to time and let it pass by itself. If there is any sudden change, I'll be there whenever you need to. Zhang Xiangbei and Xiangnan both said yes, thank you, Lao Tuo. Zhang Xiangbei and Xiangnan took Zhang Xiangzi home. When they got home, Zhang Xiangzi refused to go back and had to follow them. She asked Xiangnan to give her a bath. Xiangnan agreed, then we would take a nice shower and then go home. Go, 3 people opened the door and entered Xiangnan's house. Opening the door, Zhang Xiangbei and Xiangnan were surprised. They saw Zhang Chen Xiaofang, Lu Ligan, and Tan Shuhen, all sitting on the sofa in the living room. Seeing them come in, the 4 people stood up, obviously waiting for them. You don't need to ask to know why they are waiting for them, but Xiang Nan still smiled and said, "It's so lively, waiting for the 4 courts to interrogate. After such a big incident, you are still in the mood to joke." Tan Shuhen cursed and smiled to the south, "Not only am I in the mood to joke, but I am also in the mood to eat and chat. Come on, sit down and tell us what's going on." Lu Ligan greeted them. The 3 of them went over, and Xiaofang took Zhang Xiangzi over, and asked Zhang Xiangbei and Xiangnan to sit down as well. The 2 of them sat down, and you and I told them things one by one, and what they had done this afternoon. Also told them. After listening, the four of them breathed a sigh of relief, finally knowing that this was what happened. Liars nowadays are so pervasive, said Lou Ligon, that they could be turned into TV series. They also agreed with Lao Tuo's analysis and felt that the other party was a gang who committed the crime. The purpose was to create a scandal and then blackmail Zhang Xiangbei and the others. If they wanted to settle the matter and took the bait, there would be 2, 3, and countless more. Zhang Chen sighed and said, "What a coincidence. Fortunately, there is an old turtle with you today. He still has a sharp eye and can spot each other at a glance." Everyone was sighing and felt that what Zhang Chen said was right. Fortunately, Lao Tuo was here today. He guided Zhang Xiangbei and the others in every step they took. However, thinking about it, they were still a little scared. Lou Ligon and Zhang Xiangbei explain. "Next time you encounter something like this, Bai Bei, remember, don't be brave, you must go home and cry to your mother, do you understand? You still have insufficient social experience, but your father and I can still do it. We can see there is something fishy about it. Of course, there are also your Aunt Shahen and Aunt Xiaofang, they will definitely see it at a glance. In short, the world is dangerous, so be careful." Zhang Chen said, "That's right. Don't be afraid of embarrassment to your family members. There is nothing you can't say." "That's right, Bai Bei, when your father and I were your age, we did a lot of embarrassing things," Lou Ligon said. "I know that you secretly drank the wine that others kept in the ancestral hall and were caught," Zhang Xiangbei said. Tan Shahen and Xiaofang laughed, and Zhang Chen and Lou Ligon scratched their heads and laughed. Tan Shahen looked at them and cursed, "You still have the nerve to smile. You are so happy that I have to sing for 3 more days in vain." Xiang Nan said, "This can already be written into the history of our league. Teacher Li, Teacher Su, and others still talk about it often." "Write it in, write them in," Xiaofang said. "By the way, can we call the police on this matter? 5,000 yuan is already the sentencing standard for fraud. I remember the standard is more than 3,000 yuan," Tan Shahan said. "Yes, Bai Bei, go report the crime tomorrow, arrest them, and find out who they are," Lu Ligan agreed. Xiaofang shook her head and said, "It's useless. She didn't even ask for money. This money came from Bai Bei. She sent it by herself. This is strictly a gift and not a fraud. If she asked Bai Bei for it, once you pass the money, the nature changes." Xiaofang has actually been paying attention to this matter all afternoon. She read every one of the WeChat chat records that Zhou Yan posted online. No matter whether it was with Zhang Xiangbei or Wu Huan, the other party never mentioned money. It was only after Zhang Xiangbei called her that she said thank you. In this way, it was not considered a fraud. Moreover, the reason why she hasn't mentioned the money is not that she doesn't want to mention it, but that when she mentions the money, it must be done in person in the future, and it's not just to ask for a small amount of money. The foreplay is perfect. Tan Shahen heard what Xiaofang said and thought about it. It seemed that this matter could only end here, and there was no good way to pursue it further. Xiaofang was still worried. Although she agreed with Lao Tuo's judgment and felt that the other party might have set up a trap to defraud money, she was still vaguely uneasy and felt that the matter might not be that simple. What she worried about was that these people there are people behind, and the intention is not to defraud money. If so, what happened today is just the first step. Xiaofang didn't say anything and didn't express her worries. She knew that there was no point in saying it now. After all, the other party's intentions were still unclear. Moreover, Zaixianshu was in the open, while the opponent was in the dark. Hidden arrows were hard to guard against, so she could only, when it comes, think about how to deal with it. The next morning, before Zhou Yan had time to counterattack, the fatal blow to them had already arrived. This blow was struck by Xiang Ayun. Xiang Ayun and his men drove more than 600 kilometers last night. Rushed all night, and arrived at Zhou Yan's village early this morning. Xiang Yun called Zhang Xiangbei and said that the person named Zhou was right. Her home was indeed here, and their village was also right. It was indeed a poor village in a poor township in a poor county. Mr. Zhang, she was right. Wrong, their village committee has indeed had no one working for a long time. The current village director has gone to work in Shenzhen. Nothing is wrong, Xiang Yun, so what did you find? Xiang Nan shouted. Haha, I found a big melon. Xiang Yun smiled. Xiang Nan asked anxiously, what, have you seen her in person? No, no, she hasn't been back for several years, not only her, but also her parents and the whole family. Xiang Yun smiled, there is nothing wrong in the above, but she is wrong. Their home is in the village, isn't it? The poor family, her sister, the villagers said, seems to be in a big company outside, but they don't know the specific company. I just know that her sister is an executive of a large company with a high income. She took her parents away last year and didn't even come back for the spring festival. This Zhou Yan, after she was admitted to college and left, she never came back. Raising sheep, growing vegetables, and taking care of a mother who is paralyzed in bed is all nonsense. I have already taken a video of the scene. Mr. Zhang, do you want to post it? Before Zhang Xiangbei had time to speak, he shouted to Xiangnan, of course, send it out, what are you waiting for? There is a thunder on the ground, and a phoenix holding a golden banner rises out of the clouds. Xiangnan was so excited that he said all the lyrics. Okay, Mr. Zhang, Sister Xiang Nan, I'll send it right away. Xiang Yun chuckled. Zhang Xiangbei and Xiangnan started to wash up, and then went next door to have breakfast. At this time, the thunder that Xiangnan mentioned had already exploded on the internet. As soon as the two of them finished breakfast, Lao Tuo called Xiang Nan. As soon as the call came through, Lao Tuo shouted on the phone. Drama, drama, so dramatic, that woman is completely dead now. Xiang Nan smiled and said, don't you screenwriters dare to write it like this. I dare you. I'm going to compile this play into the TV series about Zhang Xiangbei and the others. The material is great, Lao Mo said and hung up the phone. Xiang Nan and Zhang Xiangbei said, okay, the matter is resolved, then I can go back to the regiment with peace of mind. Zhang Xiangbei said yes, and just as he was talking, his cell phone dinged. Zhang Xiangbei picked it up, looked at it, and called out. I go. What's wrong? Xiang Nan asked. Zhang Xiangbei held up his mobile phone and showed it to Xiang Nan, that Zhou Yan, she is applying to add me as a friend again. Then let's go and see what else she wants to do, Xiang Nan said. Zhang Xiangbei clicked agree, and immediately jumped out of the dialogue box between him and Zhou Yan. Zhou Yan handed him 5,000 yuan and then said. Mr. Zhang, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Then, this person disappeared again. No matter what Zhang Xiangbei and Xiangnan were fighting, the screen was silent. However, Zhang Xiangbei was not blocked again, probably for fear of irritating him. When Zhang Xiangbei arrived at the company, everyone in the company was smiling when they saw him. It seemed that everyone knew what happened yesterday and this morning. Zhang Xiangbei met Li Wei on the stairs. Li Wei saw that he was also smiling. Zhang Xiangbei asked, why are you laughing? I'm laughing. I'm laughing right now. Our membership is rising sharply. Unexpectedly, a bad thing has turned into a good thing. Should I laugh, Mr. Zhang? Li Wei couldn't stop laughing, and Zhang Xiangbei also laughed. He said okay, you can laugh as long as you want. Zhang Xiangbei walked into Wu Huan's office and saw Zhou Ruyi and their company's legal advisor, Lawyer Yu. Wu Huan saw Zhang Xiangbei and said to him. Mr. Zhang, you came just in time. Lawyer Yu and we are discussing calling the police. Call the police? What kind of police? Zhang Xiangbei wondered. This behavior by Joe is already suspected of fraud, Wu Huan said. However, she has already returned all the money. Besides, she has never asked us for money. I transferred the money to her myself. Zhang Xiangbei said, telling them what Xiaofang said last night. Lawyer Yu said, Mr. Zhang, Mr. Gan is right. As of last night, this matter could not be classified as fraud, but as of this morning, the nature of the matter has completely changed. She is undoubtedly a fraud. Why has it changed? Zhang Xiangbei asked. Now we have discovered that their family is not a poor household at all, and she is not at home at all. In other words, from the time she applied to join our Suishua Bang activity, she was already fabricating facts and trying to defraud. We get the money here, and this entire criminal chain has been formed. Moreover, even if she has returned the money now, it will not change her criminal behavior of fabricating facts to commit fraud. Returning the money will not exempt her from guilt. At most, she will be given a lighter punishment when sentencing. Zhang Xiangbei understood, and he thought that the other party must also know this, so he hurriedly thought of returning the money. How about it, Mr. Zhang, are you going to report the case with me now? You are the client lawyer, you asked. Zhang Xiangbei thought for a moment, and he realized that the other party was still very young and a girl. If they really reported the crime here, it would probably completely ruin her life. This seemed a bit too cruel. Zhang Xiangbei picked up his cell phone and said to Lawyer Yu, forget about reporting the case. Just say what you just said again and I will record it. Lawyer Yu said the previous words again, and Zhang Xiangbei recorded it and sent it to Zhou Yan. He was thinking in his heart that he hoped she could hear it. This was to give her a reminder and tell her that her behavior had gone beyond the she is on the road to committing a crime, and I hope she can behave herself in the future. Zhou Ruyi was watching from the side. She understood and shouted, Zhang Xiangbei, do you really want to be so compassionate? Thanks to Shi Yitan, Daos Hung 123, Home Mortgage, Gigai, and Nankaiman 79 for their monthly votes. Thanks for all the votes and reading. Have a good evening everyone. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Xiniang. Chapter 2050. After Zhang Xiangbei sent Lawyer Yu's recording, Zhou Yan's side has been quiet. She must have been uneasy in the past few days. As long as the ID card is authentic, this has been proven by Xiang Evian, the person is still in the country, the police should not be too simple if they want to find a person. And large companies like Zexi and Shuang are the key security targets of the local police and the police civilian contact unit. Once a crime is reported, the local police station will definitely take it seriously. In particular, Lawyer Yu emphasized in the recording that this matter is causing such a big fuss on the internet now. It can be said to have a bad social impact. As long as the words bad social impact are added to any case, it will be a major case. How much does it cost? Minor. Moreover, we can also file a civil lawsuit against her personally, Mr. Zhang, and Zaixiangsong, demanding compensation for reputational damage. This is not a small sum of money, Lawyer Yu said. After receiving such a recording, Zhou Yan and the team behind her must have studied and judged it, and knew that what Lawyer Yu said was true, and he was not trying to scare her. If they did it, they could really do it, and this did not require Zhang Xiangbei. If he comes forward on his own, the lawyer will break his leg for him. Lawyers like to fight cases where the evidence is solid, the win is guaranteed, and they can cause heated discussions on the internet and make the case public. Zhou Yan probably gets scared every time someone knocks on the door in the past few days. She shrinks and doesn't dare to open the door, for fear that the door will open and the police will be standing outside. If the phone rings, she will stare at it as long as it is an unfamiliar number. The screen kept flashing, and I didn't dare to pick it up. I was afraid that the other party would ask, "Are you Joyanne?" "We are." It's even very possible that she has been hiding somewhere else these days, tossing and turning every night. She doesn't even dare to escape back to her hometown. If she escapes, people in her hometown will look at her like a gorilla. The internet has already there is no place for people to hide, and she is now also the object of talk among her family members after dinner. After 5 days, there was still no movement. Joyanne began to let go of her hanging heart. She probably knew that there was only one reason why there was no movement, and it was quiet at dawn and at night, and that was because Zhang Xiangbei did not pursue it. He gave her a noble hand and let her go. Otherwise, there would have been no movement for so long. The silent WeChat finally responded. Joyanne sent Zhang Xiangbei thank you, 3 words plus an exclamation point. Zhang looked to the north and replied, the mountains are high and the roads are far away and the ditches are deep. Be careful. It's not possible to avoid falling into the ditch every time. Joyanne sent Zhang Xiangbei an expression that looked like she was shaking her long hair like crazy and kneeling down to worship. This time, Zhang Xiangbei still did not go back to see his mother as Lu Ligan said. He did not tell Tan Shahan, Lu Ligan, and the others about his decision not to prosecute or investigate. Otherwise, they would definitely insist on asking Zhang Xiangbei to call the police. Lu Ligan Zhan might immediately pick up his cell phone and call his buddies at the Jianghan branch. If nothing else, they would want to know about the whole incident and who was behind it. Of course Xiaofang saw the videos sent to Evian the next day. Of course she knew that at this time, the conditions for reporting the crime were met. She was also watching and waiting. After waiting for a few days, there was no news. Xiaofang met Zhang Xiangbei, asked quietly. Bei, aren't you prepared to pursue this matter further? Zhang Xiangbei said, they are so young and may still be studying in school. There is no need to kill them all. Xiaofang stopped talking and sighed secretly in her heart. After all, he was the son of Zhang Chen and his sister. This Bei was still kind-hearted. If we continue chasing, we can of course make the whole thing come to light, we can lift the table and see everything under the table clearly, but that will indeed be a fatal blow to this girl, and everything in the darkness will be revealed. It must be ugly when exposed to the sun, so let Bei continue to have a pure heart. Many times, when more and more people have this kind of mentality, the society and the entire business environment will be better. There is no need to make them feel disillusioned one by one. Xiaofang breathed a sigh of relief. She patted Zhang Xiangbei on the shoulder and said to him, but Bei, you still have to be careful, okay? Zhang Xiangbei said yes, thank you and Xiaofang. Xiaofang didn't tell Zhang Chen about this, but she told Lu Yun. After listening, Lu Yun looked at her, smiled, and said sadly. When we were young, we all wanted to be like Bei, but in fact, we became what we are now. Both men sighed and then laughed. Joyanne's incident really turned a bad thing into a good thing for Zhang Xiangbei and the others, which made Zaixian delivery famous. It suddenly added more than 7 million members across the country, which made Wu Huan dumbfounded. She and Zhang Xiangbei said that most of the more than 7 million members just became members. After becoming members, they did not place a single order. Zhang Xiangbei understood that these are people who eat melon on the internet. They apply to become members and only express their emotional and moral support for them. In fact, they are still an army of ordering takeout. They do not form a group themselves and do not really need to stay at home. Freshly delivered. Zhang Xiangbei smiled and said, yes, these are our latent members. With the purchasing power of the substitutes, they will definitely start a family. After they start a family, they will need us. Wu Huan opened his eyes wide. How long will it take? What does it matter? We are not in a hurry anyway. Are you in a hurry and need them to place an order? Zhang Xiangbei asked. Wu Huan said, "Okay, let's wait slowly." However, there is one number that is very positive for them, that is, the number of individuals and organizations directly donating money and materials to their Suishaobang activities has increased significantly. This should also be the people who eat melon, and they do not need fresh food from home. You don't need to participate in the ordering activities of Suishaobang, but you can directly give them real support. At this time, Wu Huan thought about it. Zhang Xiangbei might be right in deciding not to continue pursuing Zhou Yan. This shows their magnanimity in delivering fresh food at home. If they continue to pursue and fight, everyone will see, no matter what the other party has done, it is still unsightly for your company to pursue and beat a girl like this. In turn, it may arouse a lot of sympathy and support Zhou Yan. This is probably what the mountain does not tell itself, but most of the time, people don't look at what you have done, but rather what you haven't done. This weekend, Zhang Chen invited guests, not to the Tuxianjiayuan Hotel in Banmuishan Building, nor to the Tuxianjiayuan Hotel in Xiasha, but to the food and drinking man and woman in Jubeo. Upstairs and downstairs, a total of 6 tables were set up. Today's dinner is very generous. There are not just a few dishes to be served, but a recipe for each table. It is the recipe book created by Fatty Fu and the others. There are more than 80 dishes. Each dish will be a little smaller, but they will all be prepared. Served together, everyone should try every dish and give their opinions. Fatty Fu and Hui Huan didn't touch the wine. Fatty Fu just watched from the side. Du Tao and Xiaoli were in charge of the dishes. They brought the chefs trained here to cook with them. As waiters, naturally these are the store managers who participated in training here. The most special thing is that all the dishes are made with household cooking utensils downstairs, that is, the customers of Diet Men and Women can taste them in their own homes in the future, so this can also be said to be a good experience for Diet Men and Women, a practical test. Liu Bang, the great ancestor of the Han dynasty, Ding Gaiman and Wang Minsheng came, Lao Tan and Chu Tianlin came, Lu Yun came with Jian Qian, and then, when Food and Drink Men and Women went online, all of Kinkin's and her other live broadcast rooms would have to promote it live. Eating and Drinking Men and Women, Xiaofang came with Lu Qing and Zhao Zheng. Lu Qing happened to come to Hangzhou today. Zhang Chen originally wanted to invite Lu Changcheng and his wife to come together, but considering that there were too many people, it was still inconvenient. Zhang Chen made an agreement with Lu Changcheng, and he would bring the chef and ingredients in 2 days, and Lu Ligan went to Lu Chencheng's home to ask the old leader to try their new dishes and experience their storeless hotel. Lu Changcheng was very curious and agreed. Lin Shuwen and Lao Tang came, Wu Zayawai and Wei Venfang came, and Lu Ligan came back from the out-of-town project and brought Xiaomi and Xiaowan with him. The second-hand goods were at the Yongcheng base. The construction of the Yongcheng base had already started. He and Xiang Nan rushed over together, and of course Tan Shahan would not be absent. She brought Ying Ying and sister Gihua with her. Wu Huan, Xiao Wu, Zhou Ruyi, Sun Xiang Yang, and Li Wei are also indispensable here at Zaixian delivery. Of course Gu Gong is also present. This recipe book has a lot of his hard work. He can't think of it, and even Fatty Fu can't. Let him go, it's right next door. He has been here in the kitchen for a long time. He took a chair and squatted on the chair, watching and chatting with Fatty Fu who was standing there. The other members of Zaixiangxian were also present. From now on, Food and Drink and Zaixiangxian will be closely tied to people's travel industry, and they need to be familiar with each other. Several major shareholders of Ban Mutian, such as Su Qiaxin, Ji Yiling, Hagan, and Zhao Jingjing, etc., Zhao Xian, Xiashu and Yao Fen from the Riverside Oil Painting Gallery all arrived together, and even the old mop was dragging his flip-flops. Came here in a hurry. He was invited by Zhang Chen to Zhang Xiangbei. Zhang Chen thought Lao Tuo was very interesting. He had never met him before, so he happened to meet him today. The old man drove here by himself today. He got out of the car wearing a pair of flip-flops. Lu Ligan and Zhang Chen knew who he was without any introduction. In turn, they didn't need to be introduced by Zhang Xiangbei. As soon as they saw the old man, they knew who he was. When you get to Zhang Chen, you know who he is. He looks so much like Zhang Xiangbei. Those who are with him know from his temperament that he is the famous Lu Ligan. The three of them hit it off immediately. Lu Ligan asked Lao Mo, "Aren't you afraid of being caught by the traffic police with this look?" The old mop laughed loudly, took out one foot from the flip-flops, raised it halfway into the air, and moved his toes up and down like crab legs, and said, "Barefoot, barefoot. If I see the traffic police, I will go barefoot." Zhang Chen said, "Bare feet are not allowed either." "I been caught," the old mop chuckled. "I told the traffic police that I have a strange skin disease. I can't wear shoes. When I put on shoes, I get red, swollen, and itchy immediately, which affects safety. By the way, I have a medical certificate. Do you want to find it for you to see?" The traffic police waved his hand and let me go. "Do you really have a medical certificate?" Zhang Chen asked. "Of course not," Lao Mo said. "It was winter and the weather was freezing." The traffic police probably thought that in this kind of weather, if you are not sick, only a lunatic would wear slippers to go out. "Okay, my admiration for you is like a surging river," Lu Ligan said, and the old lady looked up to the sky and laughed. "Thank you Haikuo Tian 109, for the reward of 2 fishes, 1 up and 1 down. Thank you for I only love purple, Zonkai 727, Kud 110123, Wooden Man, Shi Fangxian, Civilized Reading, Zipanjiang 1, no future but only remember the original intention, Lao Shenzi Sang, Book Friend 1612051930467444 for your monthly votes. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you all good health. The Pentium Era, South to North. Author, Mei Shi Niang. Chapter 2051. Everyone has arrived. Zhang Chen told everyone that today everyone is welcome to eat and drink. If you drink too much, someone will take you back later. Don't worry. However, there is one thing, and that is, all opinions must be left behind. Everyone applauded and took their seats one after another. The dishes came one by one, and everyone applauded loudly every time they tasted them. Not only were these dishes beautiful and delicious, it was hard to believe that they could be made at home, and the combination of ingredients was unexpected. Unexpected ingredients can be used in one dish. Gu Gong said that this is the realm of doing whatever you want. Everyone feels that the 4 words "do whatever you want" are really used appropriately. For example, there is a dish that is braised stinky tofu yellow croaker. This yellow croaker tastes stinky, similar to stinky mandarin fish, but more delicious than stinky mandarin fish. When everyone eats this dish, they all say that they have never heard of it, and they have never seen it before, but it is too delicious. Delicious, yellow croaker and stinky tofu taste so good. There is not one such dish, but every dish is like this, which makes people look strange. Fatty Fu, Huihuan, Xiaoli, Du Tao and others said that when you enter a family, you have home-cooked dishes, and they all look strange. It's the same, but it tastes different, so that people will feel that it's worth setting up such a table at home. It's the right thing to invite us. I can't say that this dish is similar to what their nanny cooks. If that happens, there will be no next time. You only eat home-cooked dishes when you go to a big hotel. When you enter someone else's house, you have to eat fresh and different dishes. If you feed someone home-cooked food, the host will feel that you are losing face and want to kill you. What is home-cooked food? It's a dish that everyone has seen and imagined. Shark's fin was originally a high-end ingredient, but now it is served in any hotel and can be made into shark's fin. Shark's fin has become a home-cooked dish, a popular commodity, and it tastes just like vermicelli. Gugong said that doing whatever you want is the highest level of a chef. Only by throwing away all the rules and regulations in your mind that your master has passed down to you, what you have seen, can you reach this level. What you said is interesting. Can you elaborate on it? This is very good material, Lao Tuo and Gugong said. Many things are deeply ingrained in each of our minds and are difficult to let go of. Gugong said, by the way, Lao Mo, show me your palm prints. Lao Mo stood up, left his seat, walked to Gugong's side, spread his palms, and put them in front of Gugong's eyes. Gugong looked at him seriously for a while, nodded, and said, show me your nails again. The old mop turned his palm over and showed his nails to Gugong. Gugong said it was okay. He then said to Lu Ligan, who was sitting next to him, show me your palm prints, too. Lu Ligan spread his palm and showed it to Gugong. Gugong said, look at your nails. Lu Ligan turned his palm over and showed Gugong his nails. Gugong then said to Lu Bang, the great ancestor of the Han dynasty, who was sitting on the other side of him, your majesty, show me your palm prints too. Lu Bang, the emperor of the Han dynasty, laughed and said, okay, let me show you my portrait of the emperor. Gugong looked at it and said with a smile, your palm print is not like Lu Bang, but very similar to Zhao Kuangyan. Everyone laughed, and Gugong said, show me your nails again. Lu Bang, the emperor of the Han dynasty, turned over his palm and showed his nails to Gugong. After reading it, Gugong took a sip of wine. Everyone at the table looked at him, ready to listen to his speech about everyone's palmistry. Gugong stretched out his hand and spread it out. He said to everyone, I told you to show me your palm prints. You are all like this. I will tell you again, show me your fingernails you. As he spoke, Gugong flexed his 5 fingers and asked, why don't you do this? If you can see the nails this way, why do you turn your palms over? Everyone was stunned for a moment, and then laughed. It was true that if Gugong wanted to look at his palm prints and then his nails, he would turn his palms over like Lao Tuo and the others, instead of like Gugong did. Just bend the 5 fingers and you can still see the nails without turning the palm. Wonderful, wonderful, Lao Mo shouted loudly. Gugong smiled and said, isn't there someone who said this is not allowed? But why are we all used to looking at the palms and the backs of our hands? Think about it carefully. This action is actually taught to us. This is what our parents have asked us to do since we were young. If your little hands are not clean, show them your palms and then the back of your hands. When I got to kindergarten, the teacher asked for it the same way. When I got to elementary school, the teacher asked for it too. This is what I mean by the rules and regulations in people's minds. These rules and regulations have become a subconscious reaction of people, so I said look at the palm of your hand. If you have tattoos, you will show me your palms, and then I will ask you to look at your nails, and you will naturally turn your hands over. When it comes to a craftsman, like their chef, there are more rules and regulations that are so ingrained and become subconscious reactions. It is difficult to break through. For example, if I give you a handful of green vegetables and ask you to stir-fry them, everyone will definitely think, heat them first. Make a pot with oil, then add garlic or mushrooms to the pot. When the aroma comes out, add vegetables. Why don't you put the vegetables in directly and then add the oil? Because I don't know. This is how I learned it from my master. I saw others doing it this way. Do you know why you had to heat the oil for cooking in the past? The oil in the past was not defatted. The tepid oil is raw and has a strong smell, but now, the oil has obviously been degreased. It is actually the same whether it is hot or not, but no one can change this. It has become a collective subconscious action for everyone. It is difficult to drown a person who can swim, because he will struggle subconsciously. Once he struggles, he cannot sink or die. Like Lao Fu, not only people who can swim, he can be said to be a swimming champion. For such a person, it is more difficult than anything else to change the rules and regulations in his mind. Unless he sublimates and reaches another realm. What realm? It's like what is written in Jin Yang's martial arts novels. When martial arts reaches the highest realm, there is no way to win. But when the chef reaches the highest realm, he has no ingredients in his mind. There is only taste and texture. He knows that this is the taste and texture of this, and that is the taste and texture of that. He uses his imagination, just like a chemist or a perfumer. In his mind, it's not what is the main ingredient or what is the auxiliary ingredient, but what will happen when this flavor and that flavor are combined. For the new taste, there are no ingredients in his mind, only the taste and the combination of flavors. Only then can he do whatever he wants without being limited by the ingredients themselves. I don't think about whether this and that can be fried together. There is no such thing. There is no question of whether it can be done. There is only a question of how the taste will be and whether it is tempting or not. Gu Gong kept talking, and when he finished speaking, Lao Tuo cursed, "Damn it, it's very confusing, it's getting more and more confusing, but it makes a lot of sense, I've learned a lesson." Everyone nodded frequently and felt that Gu Gong's lecture was very reasonable. Lu Ligan said, "Gu Gong, you are just a philosopher delayed by pickles." "Shit, pickles are the highest philosophy. Human beings have had so many philosophers for thousands of years, but they are useless. Can they calm a war or make people full of food? Are these people useless? It also confuses and complicates people's thinking for no reason, and makes no contribution to mankind at all," Gu Gong said. "What about pickles?" Zhang Chen asked. "Pickles are different. Pickles can solve people's big problems." Gu Gong looked at everyone and said to them, "In the past, pickles were a stupid way that people came up with because they had no way to preserve vegetables and meat. Now that we have refrigerators, preservation are no longer a problem. If you still pickle vegetables according to the original method, you are a fool. You must pickle them. Taste and value matter. The simplest thing is, for example, give me a piece of meat and I will pickle it into bacon. It must be more attractive and valuable than fresh meat. Otherwise, there is no need for bacon to exist. Just put the meat directly in the refrigerator to freeze." Gu Gong laughed as he spoke. He said, "There will be a steamed ham with preserved vegetables. When it comes, take a look. If a book of Hegel is placed in front of you, would you choose to read Hegel or steamed ham with preserved vegetables? Ham. I'll go. If you give me a fried dough stick, I'd rather eat the dough stick than look at Hegel," Lao Mo said, and everyone laughed. Gu Gong talked eloquently. At other times, Gu Gong was very silent. He brought a notebook with him. He would taste every dish that was served, then open the notebook and start writing seriously. Everyone saw his notebook. It was densely written, but it was hard to see what he was writing. Lu Ligan leaned over to read it, but Gu Gong told him not to read it, as you would interrupt my thoughts. "After you've written it, can you show it to me at the end?" Lao Mo asked out of curiosity. "No," Gu Gong said, "this is not for you to see, it is for Fatty Fu. There are some who praise him and some who scold him. It is too private. How can I show it to you? He can only see it. If he wants to show it to you after reading it, fine, that's his freedom." Can I buy your book for 10,000 yuan, the old man asked. "Not for sale," Gu Gong said. The steamed ham with preserved vegetables that Gu Gong mentioned was served, with a layer of bright red ham spread on top of the green Shanghai green. Everyone was surprised how the color of this ham could be so bright even though it was steamed. Zhang Chen asked Gu Gong. "Added coloring?" "No," Gu Gong said proudly, "only fools would add coloring to the meat. This is the color of ham when it is cured and sun-dried." Everyone's appetite had been aroused by Gu Gong's words. At this time, the steamed ham with preserved vegetables was served. Everyone quickly took off their chopsticks. Zhang Chen put a piece into his mouth. He felt that it was salty and fragrant. It was so delicious, but the salty taste was not that great. It's heavy, not like bacon or ham. Did you soak it in water or blanch it before cooking? Zhang Chen asked. None of them. This is lightly salted ham. If the salt is too heavy, the color of the meat will be dark, which will not look good, and it will be a little bit sour and taste bad. But if the salt is too light, the meat will be spoiled. It must be just right, Gu Gong said. This ham can be eaten raw, and it will taste the same when eaten raw. Everyone was full of praise and said they had never tasted such delicious ham. Gu Gong said, I have prepared a piece for each of you. Take it away when you leave. Eat it raw and drink it with red wine. It will definitely be no less than Spanish ham. When everyone heard this, they all became excited. Lao Mo shouted, yes, yes, that's great. With this ham, I don't even want to read your book. Thank you, boss, I'll get my monthly pass today. Thanks for all the votes and reading. I wish you a nice weekend.